Kind of love it when I do that, don't you? Greetings, good evening, how you doing? Welcome in. Beyond Ringside, back to basics in more ways than one. I normally go ahead and use the phrase where everything's on the table and nothing's off the record, but I've kind of figured that fits more of the shooter's gallery mentality on Saturday morning, so I'm going to go ahead and come up with something new over here because we'd also started working on, me and my 47 other personalities. And longtime listeners know that actually fluctuates as far as the numbers go. Fast Eddie Layne, live from Studio One, live from C2C headquarters. Stan Grubb, what's up, brother?
What's up, Edward? How are you, good sir?
It's been topsy-turvy for the last few days, and I've genuinely appreciated that. Peach State Wrestling Alliance Saturday night, a really crappy hotel later Saturday night. Great wings before that at B-Dubs. Thank you, Shane. I appreciate it. And Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment this past Sunday over at the famous pub, and had a blast all the way across the board, except for the really crappy hotel room. Couldn't sleep.
I hate crappy hotel rooms.
Well,
I will say this, though. I've been in a lot of crappy hotels.
Oh, ditto that, dude. Over the years, ditto that. Now, I'm going to sit back and say the hotel itself, for the most part, was clean. There were a couple of things about it that I'm not going to go into on air. But I will say you get what you pay for, and I understand that. Would I stay there again? Yes, especially if I bought a pair of flip-flops, which I normally take with me. No.
So it was a Mick Foley special.
There you go. But no, I would actually stay there again. I'm a germaphobe, and I'm really weird about some things.
You know you're in the wrong business then, right?
No kidding. As a DJ, especially in hosting karaoke and working in pro wrestling, I'm in the business of seeing people every damn day of my life. I like people, but I hate people.
And a good percentage of them are mouth breathers, so you got to be careful.
Gonna go a different direction to kick things off. By the way, first off, thank you to everybody listening in through BeyondRingside.com, through the all-new ProWrestlingRadio.net, through the Beyond Ringside mobile app for Android, Amazon, and BlackBerry, through Shoutcast, Ustream, TuneIn Radio, all platforms. Now, I'm on an acquisition spree for some reason because my background is marketing as well as broadcasting and being a DJ in the Magic City Motor Mouth and all that other good horse hooey. So once again, me and my 38 other personalities, there were 9 of them that were not a part of this decision. They were out at Six Flags.
That's a good place to be. You know, some of the rides are fun.
Well, unfortunately, Six Flags is not open yet, which, thank you to their website, I thought it was open this past weekend.
Oh, did you punch the moose?
No, I ran over the road closed sign.
Sweet.
Yeah, I know. Metro Atlanta Police. God love them. No, but seriously.
Apparently they love you.
Yes, they do. To all the girls. Okay, never mind.
Whoa.
Not doing the Willie.
Different song.
Yeah, there you go. I wasn't going to do Ms. Officer by Lil Wayne. I like that one.
Please don't. No, Lil Wayne.
No, I actually like that song. Some people are going to, what? What do you know about Lil Wayne? A lot.
How you know about Lil Wayne, man?
Try. I've met him before, so really cool guy.
Is he really little?
No, not really. I was going to sit back and say shorter than me, but that would be an accomplishment.
Now, wait a minute. I watched some AWE footage over the weekend and just the other day. Saw some footage of you at the broadcast booth standing next to a compatriot that we know.
Oh, that moratorium's off.
Oh, good. So you're standing next to
Corey Champion.
Yeah, and you're considerably taller than him. Now, he is a short, fat guy, but you're considerably taller than him, so I don't think you have to worry about anything.
I will say this. It was great running into Corey this past weekend. From there, we were kind of surprised each other because normally Corey works until a certain particular point in time and then will fly like a bat out of hell to get to the venue. Well, according to him, he took pretty much the whole day off. So I'm thinking I'm going to surprise him when he walks in the door. He walks in around the corner going, "What are you doing here?" I went, "Well, hell, you're here earlier than I thought you were going to be. I was going to surprise you." Imagine my surprise. But yeah, we had a great chance to hang out, talk, shoot the breeze, and all of the above, taking a little bit of the action together. We had some snafus near the end of the day with the setup, so therefore we didn't go live like we'd hoped we would. I will be back at AWE, and we're already putting things in works for a number of the stars from AWE to come on. Chip Day actually supposed to join us in about 1 hour from now. I'd made arrangements, but this is on me. I screwed up because I didn't follow up early enough. DJ Hyde from Combat Zone Wrestling, who was also there this past Sunday, will be joining down the road. We'll probably get him in next week. But the original game plan was to go live after AWE, and things just kind of fell apart. Also was having computer trouble, which is a pain in the ass to begin with. Plus, for some reason, my headphone splitter was deciding it wanted to take a pass on the weekend. So I'm going to be, over the next couple of weeks, buying more equipment. Gee, love it. Most stuff. I need a bigger house. Either that or 3 more storage places. But no, seriously, coming back to it, I made a reference to the acquisition spree, and I was going to tell you about this off here, but I figured I'd go ahead and drop this one in. I know that marketing in strategies and product placement is a very unique thing in the age of the internet. Mm-hmm. Well, for a lot of people, you know that you can get to beyondringside.com, of course, through .com itself. Effective 2 weeks from now, .net will be active. Tonight, and you also know that ProWrestlingRadio.net is active, as well as WrestlingRadio.net is active. As of a few minutes ago, it is not pointed there yet, but it will be soon. The 10count.com will be aiming toward BeyondRingside.com, as well as, and don't ask me why, WrestlingRadio.net is now it will be aiming by the end of the night toward BeyondRingside.com or ProWrestlingRadio.net. So,
wow, one Wrestling Radio
.net.
.net, very nice. I like it.
Well, the .com, and this is something I'm going to go and reveal a trade secret, kids. I did some looking, and the .com will be open and available by the end of the year. I believe the search that I did said November. Well, right now, I'm not going to pay the premium price, and lo and behold, whoever had the website before has turned it into a politically oriented site. And y'all know me, I don't do politics.
Hold up. A wrestling site is now politics related?
Pretty much.
That seems like a contradiction in terms.
The number one, WrestlingRadio.com, has got a bunch of political stories up there. No wrestling pretty much whatsoever.
Is Nick Anthony running this site?
I don't know.
Sorry, I just know he's real political, so.
Shots fired.
little inside baseball, I suppose.
There you go. But, and to everybody who has been finding ProWrestlingRadio.net, thank you very much. Like I said, I've made it clear the ProWrestlingRadio.com and ProWrestlingRadio.net are 2 totally separate entities. They don't work with us. We don't work with them. We don't belong to each other. We're 2 totally different companies. And from what I've been able to tell, they are not doing that much on that site. So I'm also monitoring that one, and believe it or not, I have a bid in. So, hey, what the hell? So,
okay, then.
I mean, I've been looking at different ways of getting the word out there, and to everybody who has been doing word of mouth and sharing the links, thank you. My God, I appreciate it. All of us here on the BR family of shows do appreciate it. BR Live, Back to Basics, Shooters Gallery, Corner to Corner, Midnight Black Mass, To Be Determined. We've been working on some new additions to the family, and those are, there were a couple that were supposed to have come on by now, but unfortunately they did not launch like we anticipated. So when those projects get green-lighted and underway on their respective worlds, then everything will be in place for them to come over to BR. So I'm looking forward to adding new content over here. And the door's open. Had a great conversation with Patrick Alvarez over at Friends of Wrestling Radio this past Sunday. Let's go ahead and use the phrase, kids. We buried some heat that I thought was there and that he thought was there, and we had a chance to clear the air, and we quelled it. It's done. So, like I said, to Patrick and everybody over at Friends of Wrestling Radio, my very best. I wish y'all the continued success, all the best in the world, and I look forward, and I'll put it this way. Patrick will vouch for the fact that if things had not gone awry near the end with the setup, which I thought was going to get taken out and demolished by the Spring Street Suicide Squad and Team IOU doing a double flying dive right in front of us. Wow. I'd asked Patrick if he wanted to come on board and we could do interviews after the show. And he said, I've got family situations or I would jump all over it. So, that's where that went. So we will probably see a crossover between FOW and BR in the near future.
Everybody that knows me knows that I love having a hand in my hand in everything. I've always talked to you about expansion ideas, just different things we could do to keep Beyond Ringside growing. And one of the things that we've talked about a lot off air and on air is just recruiting different talent, because I think that's what makes our family stronger and our network stronger. I think the fans of wrestling, it is Fans of Wrestling, correct?
Yes.
Okay, Fans of Wrestling. I did catch a little bit of their programming.
Or
of course,
FOW.
they came on.
FOW for short.
Right, and they came on and joined us for a short term in Wrestle Rage for a little bit. And they have a good set of passion, good set of voices. I'd like to hear more of what they do. I think they've got a good feel, for for the Southeast, and I think that's something that we need to continue to not necessarily exploit, but capitalize on. And I think that wrestling in general, I think a lot of people call pro wrestling and internet radio, podcasting, name the phrase if you want. A lot of people call it a niche environment. Well, it's not really a niche environment anymore. I think what it is it's an uncapitalized area.
Yeah.
It's its own genre and industry. And I think if there's going to be anybody that makes a run at it, it should be us.
It probably will be. Oh, trust me, for those who think that we've hit the apex or the pinnacle, shoot, we ain't even started yet. What are you talking about?
Well, Eddie, if I may, you were talking about some of the tremendous turnout with just the new sites and the new mirrors and everything. I have to say, just from a personal standpoint, while I greatly enjoyed doing Wrestle Rage for the entire length of time that we did it, I had absolutely no idea that Corner to Corner would pick up the kind of steam that it has.
Right.
Since we brought it to Beyond Ringside, we've seen exponential growth, and I'm a big proponent for growth. To me, you can't measure something you have fun doing, but you can measure if your voice is out there. I keep the guys in tune with the stats as much as I possibly can from the Spreaker side, and what I have seen in both downloads and on-demand listens it blows my mind. I'm ridiculously grateful. I can't even find the right words for it. Just to see people turning out and listening in, and it's exciting. And Beyond Ringside has been around for so long, and this is a good thing, by the way. Been around for so long that it's amazing to me that there's this much staying power in what many feel is a niche, but also that there's not more. And I mean more like us, not necessarily more here.
I've got to throw this one out there, and for as dedicated as I am and as passionate as I am, and for as much time as I invest into this project, I'm not one of those that feels that I don't feel like we're better than everybody else. I don't feel like we're bigger than everybody else. I'm one who feels like there's always room to grow. There's always more than I can do. With the listenership that has been there and those who have left and come back, especially when I fired the station one night on Cause and Effect, which I will still never get past because they'll never let me forget it.
I mean, I was emotional. I had some tissues handy and some beer, and
Well, maybe if I'd have been drunk, I'd have been okay. But unfortunately, I was stone cold sober that night. Which really sucks. But going from that vantage point, I throw it out there like this, to everybody who found out that yes, the station did reemerge and the numbers keep getting bigger on a weekly basis. It's appreciated, and we just continue to try to be a little bit different. We try to put our own unique spin on things. And obviously it does get listened to, and it's greatly appreciated, whether you're living in our home markets of Alabama and Virginia, the Mid-Atlantic region, the Southeastern region, all across the 50 and the territories, Germany, China, Japan, Australia, the UK. God love you all. Iceland, once again, back on board on the podcast downloads. Thank you. And, and it's no secret, I'm blatant about how shameless I am about promoting this product, the BR brand, and the family of shows. And I'm, like I said, I don't rest. You can ask the rest of the tribe here at Full Range Entertainment and at Studio One if everybody else is crashing out by 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I'm still in here working on stuff at 1 and 2 in the morning going, damn it, I did it again. I was going to be in bed last night at 11? No, I didn't hit the bed till 3 a.m. and I was back up by 7 because I was testing out some new graphics, some new backgrounds, working on some new fonts, working on some new logo ideas for different things for the YouTube channel, which little by little it picks up. I mean, I'm also expanding into Daily Motion, and we're also probably in the next 60 days going to expand into Roku. And you'll be able to catch the slideshows from there.
Roku, really? That's great.
Like I said, just trying to find new and different ways to get the word out there. Try to get the gospel into the radio, into the speakers. So let's shift it over for a second. You know, the bombshell dropped, and the bombshell dropped yesterday big time. And that is the retirement. Yeah, we're going to go off topic for a second as far as wrestling goes, because this is a big one. With the retirement of Peyton Manning.
Yeah, that was not really as surprising as it was. Almost kind of sad just to see him platform. It was a phenomenal career. And, you know, I'm glad that he did it on his terms, not in a situation where he was forced out. I know a lot of negative press was out there. And it's unfortunate that behavior as a child is coming back to haunt him. But, you know, when you do things, sometimes they come back after you regardless of what you want. But I'm glad for him. He had a great career.
Well, I'm a big fan of the way the ceremony was handled, and I was almost iffy about him taking questions from the press. Mm-hmm. And to the little child who just wanted to go ahead and voice out and ask the question about that situation, it's like, really? You couldn't have waited 24 hours after this ceremony to go ahead and start plugging him for questions? You have to do it at his retirement ceremony? It's like, there's no class in that. It's okay to ask tough questions, but when you are in a situation like that with what should be a day of celebration, I think Peyton handled the question beautifully. I think he basically turned it right back on the reporter, showed the fact that, really, you're going to do this today without saying it that way.
Right.
I just sat back and I watched, and it's like when she opened her mouth and I heard the first few sentences, it's like, really? You're going to do this today? Cretin, imbecile, moron.
I think that, you know, there's room in journalism to ask tough questions, controversial questions. In the middle of a ceremony like this, while they would say, this is what they would say they were doing, they were trying to stick up for the little guy. And I understand and respect that, but the truth of the matter is that's not why they're asking the question. They're asking the question to get their name in a headline. And it's unfortunate because this is a momentous occasion for him, for his family, for his fans, for his teammates, for his coaches. And I mean, I do stand by my original statement. You know, it's unfortunate the things that he did in his youth that are only now coming back after him. But at the same time, his retirement is not the time to corner him, really, to coin a phrase.
And that's what that individual did.
Right. And he handles it as he always does. He handles the press very well. He always has. Him and Tom Brady have always handled the press very well. You know, he's honest, but he's also very guarded, and I think that's the best way to be that. I would like to see some attention drawn to what happened in his past. I would like to see what really truly happened, because I think there's a lot more facts out there, but not right now. Not while he's retiring from his occupation. Not while he is paying his respect to the sport, and in turn the sport paying respect to him. And I think that the phrase first ballot gets thrown out there a lot for different players, but there's no question in anyone's mind that Peyton Manning will be in the Hall of Fame very quickly.
Also hanging it up, I believe it was made public this morning, Megatron Calvin Johnson from the Detroit Lions officially turning in his letter of retirement. Wow.
Another player that phenomenal career. I think that he's one of the few players that really stuck to his loyalty, and I think that's good. I don't think we see it enough in today's free agency society. When it comes to the NFL, Megatron is going to have a career that stands on its own. I wish that he could have gotten a ring. I really do.
Well, I've got to put the world in perspective. I knew that there were times when Detroit had put things in place and they just came up short, whether it was offensive coordinator, whether it was defense, whether it was the overall game plan. Do I think that, and this is a question was bandied about today on a number of shows, including the Dan Patrick Show. Do you feel that Calvin Johnson's going to be first ballot Hall of Famer? No. I have to agree.
It's going to be some time before he gets the nod. He had a great career. Is it Hall of Fame worthy? Depends on who you ask. I don't know that I would say it was Hall of Fame worthy. Definitely a very superstar career, but I don't know if it's Hall of Fame.
Well, I mean, there's a difference in the positions because it was made. There was a point brought up on the Dan Patrick Show that there have only been 4 or 5 wide receivers that have been first ballot Hall of Famers, and other than that, they've all been second, third, or fourth ballot. And it's not a slight because if you look at the year, I mean, 5 years from now, Peyton, 2 Super Bowl wins, 4 Super Bowl appearances, conference championships, all of the above. All the accolades that he has racked up as a quarterback in a team sport, he will be a first ballot Hall of Famer based on sheer statistics alone. But like I said, that elusive ring would have been a solidifying factor in Calvin Johnson being a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Again, it's when you look at the Hall of Fame in general, Calvin Johnson, will he eventually get the nod? I think so. But I don't think he's first ballot. There's a lot of wide receivers in the industry that have done a little bit more than him that aren't in, and it's not necessarily related to a ring. But at the same point, for a consistent team player, and I think that deserves rewarding, I think that he will eventually get in. But I think there's a lot of other players ahead of him in line. It's going to be a while.
Oh. Shifting gears just a little bit, want to go ahead and pass this one along to everybody. This coming Friday night, 3 days from now, New South Wrestling brings real pro wrestling to Fayetteville, Tennessee. New South debuts in Fayetteville with Alpha Fight. Gates open at 6:30 p.m., bell time 7:30 p.m. Family fun for all ages, and that will be at the Fayetteville, Tennessee National Guard Armory, 1805 Wilson Parkway in Fayetteville, Tennessee. Tickets currently on sale. First 2 rows, if they are available, $15 each, $10 general admission. Pre-sale tickets are available through PayPal. So it is just that easy. Let me go ahead and run this one down. In the main event, Ring of Honor's Moose will take on the Black Baron. Dominique Fabiano will be taking on Kathy the Butcher in women's action. The Marathon Man, good friend of the family, Christian Haim, will be taking on Odinson. Nick Tramer will be taking on Jeremy Flint, another good friend of the family here on BR. Also, I can say that about Moose as well. We've had him on the shows before. Just unfortunately, it was at the Masquerade show when BR and Wrestle Rage were teaming up, and the jackasses at the Masquerade flipped the wrong power breaker. Thanks.
Yeah, that didn't sit well with anybody. It was, again, one of those moments in time where you wish you could just find the person responsible and have
kick
a nice
him in the
adult
damn
chat.
head.
I was just going to say an adult chat, but
Kick him in the damn head. Good friend of the family, Dump Sanders, will be taking on P-Dog, Mike Posey, another great friend of the family. Posey will have the hit for hire, so to speak, the mercenary, America Strong, as well as the producer, MS Smooth, in his corner. Of course, Merrick, a great friend. I've worked with her on a number of different occasions. I've worked with Posey for years, always tremendous. Tag team match. Chris Gans and Dustin Hanson taking on 2 of my favorites right now. The Down South Dandy, Nick Iggy, and the Music City Mutt Carey Awful, also known as Team IOU.
Gotta say that the Down South Dandy is one of my favorite nicknames.
Yeah, it is. Ranks right up there.
It.
Ranks right up there with the guy out of the Florida market who called himself Maximum Capacity. Damn.
Was he a big guy?
Yeah, he was, at least.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah, no, huge is the word. Also, Big Spade taking on good person I've worked with and known for a number of years, Jeremy Foster. So you've got a great lineup coming up this coming Friday in Fayetteville, Tennessee, under the banner of New South Wrestling. Want to give a very special hello and tip of the hat to good friend of the family, Chris Bradley. Sorry, I was in the middle of a hiccup spree as I'm trying to quell them as I was trying to say the name. Chris, Always great to be able to talk to you. Wish we could have worked things out to have you on, but please keep us in the loop. Let us know what's going on. Let's flip the script, so to speak. This coming Saturday, a WWE Tag Team title match has been added to Roadblock. Sheamus and King Barrett from the League of Nations, or whatever the hell they're called, No Heat Central.
How about No Attention Central? Jeez.
Ooh, I like this one better. Central Air and No Heat.
I like yours better. You win. That's awesome.
King Barrett.
If there ever was a group that didn't have heat, there you go.
I know, it's sad too. Even after beating the hell out of everybody. Sheamus and King Barrett taking on the tag team champions, The New Day, this coming Saturday on the network. Okay, if we have a tag team title flip this coming Saturday, I will be thoroughly shocked, because I don't see Sheamus and Barrett. I mean, together they would make a great team. Individually, I appreciate their talents. But considering the fact that they haven't really done that much as a team, I don't see them going over New Day in any capacity whatsoever. And if they still haven't figured out what the hell they're doing with the New Day, this will once again put them right back into that rarefied air where people will cheer them and boo them at the same time regardless. So, and especially after what happened with Y2AJ and that meltdown last night, excuse me, called it.
I gotta say that it was really telegraphed. I liked the idea of them tagging. I know my one of my co-hosts, Rob, was not into it, didn't really want to see them do that. But I felt like the goal was to get the attention to AJ Styles, which it certainly was successful in doing. I also think that when we look at just the upcoming plan, it was just too easy to see. I don't understand why they wouldn't have given them a longer run. I would have liked to have honestly seen Y2AJ, which is just a stupid name. But anyway, I would have liked to have seen the tag team go through WrestleMania and break up afterwards. Maybe even after they face the New Day and lose. It would have made sense to me, because it would have been yet another team to fail to beat the New Day. The formula is there. It would have made better sense.
I think they pulled the trigger way too soon, because you had people who had just been buying Y2AJ t-shirts, and if they would have made a full tour with those shirts, oh my God, the numbers would have been astronomical as far as the sales go. At least in my opinion, it would have been. I might be wrong. I don't have the numbers in front of me, and frankly, I don't care. But by the same token, I'm going to sit back and say, from my perspective, considering that Jericho, okay, and this is the part that I have to sit back and call out. Jericho is also hitting that phase where he's joining the Big Show, Mark Henry, and Triple H in how many times one person can flip-flop.
Oh, agreed.
I'm a face, I'm a heel, I'm a face, I'm a heel, I'm a face, I'm a heel. And Jericho doesn't always get that tweener air. He doesn't always get that rarefied air, but there's people that are going to cheer Jericho regardless. But if there is any one person who is normally better at making that transition, it's Jericho. He's proven the fact for years that it's more than a phrase. He is, okay, one of the best in the world at what he does. But unfortunately, with WWE creative the way it is, and that's who I blame for this, the script writers, well, we need to go ahead and split them up. No, you don't. They're making money. Wait. Let them become more valid. Let them become more relevant. Let them become more solid as a tag team. And then maybe you're right, the week before Mania, and build it into the match. If you go ahead and say, okay, Y2AJ is going to challenge New Day for the tag team titles or whoever at WrestleMania, and then all of a sudden you have a situation where we don't want to wait till Mania. We want that title match now. Okay, how many people are going to be tipped off to a split on that show, on the go-home Raw before Mania? None. Maybe 25%. Okay, that's a big number. That's a big flip-flop. Nobody's going to know, but 25% will see it coming. I kind of like my math.
I think it's that Common Core math.
I'll shoot you. I'll shoot you.
I think
I
with
will
what
go
they're
find
doing-
this. I will go find the set of Iron Man 3 and get the kid's potato gun, and I will shoot you.
Oh, don't use the potato gun.
Mark II.
That's not nice.
Mark II.
I think when it comes to Roadblock and WrestleMania, what we're seeing is a lot of rush. And I think there's some concern or some. I want to word this correctly. It's not necessarily concern. Maybe it's more uneasiness with what they're heading into. They just don't seem comfortable with their plan, and they consistently change it. It's unfortunate because it's not hurting the build for WrestleMania because we have time. They will build to WrestleMania. There's no problem with that.
You realize we have less than a month.
They've done it on shorter periods.
Sometimes, yeah. But this is...
I mean...
Go ahead.
When you look at what they're doing, I heard you speaking last week about it. I think it's highly feasible we could see Dean Ambrose walk away with the title.
I'm going to pick him on this one. If we're going to go ahead and shift over to the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match set for Roadblock this Saturday, exclusively on the WWE Network.
Cheap look. It's actually not very cheap.
Not really. I charge a lot for those. I just haven't gotten paid yet.
When you get your WWE check, you let me know. I want mine too.
Okie dokie. It's like at my day job. It's like, how did Eddie get a raise? I've been there longer, bitches. Yes, I said that. Love you guys.
I really just said bitches.
Yeah, I know. And I really hate that word too. Never used it when I was fighting with the TUVW fill in the blank for the letter. X. Affectionately known as her.
Hello, her.
Yeah, there you go. That's the other running gag. And by the way, for those who missed it, yes, one of the tribe here at Studio One did celebrate a birthday this past weekend. Mike, part of the Studio One full range crew, a longtime friend. I do call him brother. And he officially entered that era of being old now. 50. Ha 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 ha.
Big 5-0.
Yeah, he hit the big 5-0. You gotta love it.
Get her done, that's right.
That's a little bit higher pitched voice.
Oh, sorry.
My sister is covered in moles. We took her to church. We took her to church. They call her Holy Moly.
Oh my God.
It was close. Close.
Larry, I just want to point out that that was not me. That was Eddie Layne this time.
No, it's an overdose of Prilosec. OTC on my jet ski. Wee doggy. I'm happy in a tornado in a trailer park.
Oh my God. Thanks, Mater.
There you go. Hey, dude. Hey, Stan. I think your head's got about as much shine to it as Lightning McQueen's rear bumper.
Oh, chickow. How about that?
There you go. Nicely done. No, it's the way that they're putting this together. We're coming back into sanity for a hot second. Don't believe it. I need that sound bite from the old Tom and Jerry cartoon. Don't you believe it? Go find the Tom and Jerry on How to Catch a Mouse. Right after Chapter 5, A Cornered Mouse Never Fights. Tom dives in, comes back looking like he just got through being a tornado, doing a trailer in a tornado, and that's where that. But he put a lot of reverb on that, and so Tex Avery cartoons, I love them. Dean Ambrose. You know, I love the way that they're really just doing the ultimate beatdowns on the situation. And then last night, now, for those longtime listeners to the station and longtime listeners to Beyond Ringside especially, 99 times out of 100, the one who does the honors on the Go Home Raw will be the one to go over at the pay-per-view or the live event on the WWE Network. So by that logic being in play, Triple H will successfully defend. It is genuinely 99 times out of 100 that the person who's standing tall at the end of the Go Home Raw actually wins at the pay-per-view.
Right.
In the main event. Secondary matches, lower down the card, opener, coin toss. But I really think the fact that last week, I believe it was on SmackDown when Ambrose came out with the chair and sat down in the ring and explained that, went over the possibilities. I don't have a problem in the least other than the fact that the roster's not strong enough to fill up the card right now, that if they were to actually put Hunter, Ambrose, Lesnar, and Reigns into a fatal four-way match, the only way they could genuinely pull this off is to make it a fatal four-way elimination, just like we did at Global Championship Wrestling for our Heavyweight Championship Tournament Finals. Because if you make that a single pin, there's going to be some pissed off people. Even if you make it an elimination, there's going to be some pissed off people. If you make Hunter and Reigns the final two, don't be surprised if you see people walk out. There are those that are just completely and totally apathetic and ambivalent when it comes to Roman Reigns. If the final two is Ambrose and Lesnar, you will have a huge, it'll be huge response.
Huge.
Real huge. Trumpy. I like to say hello to Trumpy the Goat.
You didn't say Trumpy. Please don't say Trump.
I
You don't say Trump on this network.
Bah humbug.
Yeah. More like thump.
Happy Fried Fritters Day. Okay. If you have Ambrose and Lesnar as the final two, it won't matter who's going to go over. You will have people that's like, okay, Lesnar went over. I'm good with that. You have people who will be, Ambrose went over. Hell yeah. Because it's not going to be Hunter holding the belt, and it's not the chosen one getting the Cinderella finish. Agree or disagree?
They're not going to do the Cinderella finish. I don't think you have that with any of the people involved. Although the thought I've got doesn't involve a fatal four-way, because I think what we would end up seeing would be a little bit different. I think their focus right now, is really more designed to be to shake it up. I think there's a shake-up planned more, not just related to Shane McMahon being on TV, even though we've all seen the writing on the wall for that. I think what's really being focused on right now is actually, we may be seeing just them kind of change up the card. I have a feeling if Ambrose was to walk away with the title, he defends against Brock. And I think we see Triple H and Roman Reigns in perhaps one of the only true ways to save Roman Reigns' character. I think what we see is a grudge match. We see the payoff not with the title, but to see Roman have to go after Dean, thus setting up a heel turn if needed on either side, and opening the door.
They'd put the heel turn on Ambrose because of the simple fact that they have got Roman Reigns as the chosen one. And I don't mean Jeff Jarrett back in the Double J days. Ain't I great?
JEFF, JARRET.
And according to Vince, after the buyout, you can spell his name FIRED. I remember that episode very well.
Fired.
Yeah. Which really, to this day, the conspiracy theorist in me still sits back and says, yeah, that's a work. It was a work due to the simple, unless something was going on and Jeff just actually wanted to leave. Because he didn't leave under extraordinarily bad circumstances from World Wrestling Federation, WWE. And then you and I both know, and longtime fans know, not just of us, but of WWE FE. When they fire somebody, you see a blurb on the news page saying we wish them the best in their future endeavors, and they never talk about it publicly. That was a public firing of Jeff Jarrett. So, which makes me believe, and if I have a clue on this one, and I might be right and I might be wrong, that was the send-off for Jarrett to go build TNA, Total Nonstop Action, out of the wreckage of WCW, but he couldn't use the name WCW because that would have been incredibly obvious. Because remember, when TNA was in its formative phase, and I'm giving everybody this one to reconsider all over again, this is where I think that there's no heat, at least no real heat. When Jarrett was building TNA, remember, Jeff Jarrett's father, Jerry Jarrett, walked Vladimir Kozlov, World Sambo Champion, into WWE headquarters, Titan Sport headquarters, Titan Tower, and introduced him to Vince McMahon himself. If there was heat between the McMahons and the Jarretts, that would have never happened, folks.
Well, I mean, I don't think that there's a whole lot of heat there because I think Jarrett was a good businessman. I think Vince McMahon does have that bitterness for any time he gets hit for money at the last minute. I mean, look what he did to the Ultimate Warrior a few times. Rightfully so, the Warrior wanted to get paid appropriately. I don't disagree with his stance. But when it comes down to it, Vince is notorious for holding grudges. Look what happened between him and Bruno Sammartino. Now, he says that there was no grudge. If you ask Vince, he's like, oh, no, I don't know what the problem was. But the bottom line is he knows. I mean, it's just like the same as his grudge with Randy Savage. Supposedly, we don't know if this is true, but supposedly it has to do with something that happened between Stephanie and Randy.
Right.
We don't know if this is true. We'll probably never know. And the honest-to-God truth is, even Lanny Poffo doesn't know. He may say he knows, but he doesn't. He doesn't. Because if it did happen, for one, that would have been illegal. Just calling it what it is. Would have been illegal. For another, when you look at just the track record for Vince in holding grudges, look how long it took him to bring Hulk Hogan back.
Right.
Yeah. I think that Jeff Jarrett has a keen enough business sense that he knew his contract with WCW wasn't up yet. Vince was very adamant about not buying the contracts that were so expensive. It's one of the reasons we didn't see Nash, Hall, Goldberg, all of the WCW stars that we should have seen. I mean, the Invasion truly could have gone a different direction.
Right.
Had he bought those contracts. It's just he would have gone broke doing it.
Right.
I don't blame him. I think that I have to agree with you as far as him, doing the FIRED fired on Raw. I think it was part of a script. I don't think there was any true heat in that moment, but I do think that the reason we hadn't seen Jeff Jarrett get a return, not just with TNA, but I mean just overall with WWE, was because of those kinds of moments where he hit him up for more money at the night of the pay-per-view because his contract was up. Now, he did do the right thing. He worked. He didn't just walk.
Right.
But, I mean, it's in the grand scheme of things, had they bought his contract, Jarrett would have failed. It's not his fault. He just would have failed. The Invasion wasn't strong enough. He wasn't a strong enough main eventer to carry the Invasion, and he would have failed miserably. Almost as bad as Buff Bagwell did. And that wasn't really Buff's fault. The biggest problem with the Invasion wasn't the talent there. Stasiak could have been okay. He could have been a serviceable mid-carder at the best. Hugh Morris, we already know that he was a phenomenal talent and a great hand just in general. Get it? General direction. Anyway, the point is, it was handled poorly because the fear that Vince McMahon has of a non-WWE/WWF product. And that's what we see. If it's a non-WWE created star, he doesn't have the whole, I'm going to push this attitude. I mean, look what they're doing with AJ Styles. If there wasn't a Triple H involved, do you think AJ Styles would be a big star right now in WWE?
Nope.
No way. No way. And that's not to say that he's not a good talent. We already know who he is. But, truth of the matter is, in typical Vince McMahon fashion, he would have been repackaged as, some crazy weird name and a gimmick. And I'm grateful that they didn't do it because that would have sucked.
Do me a favor. I have to do it. Folks, hang tight. Going to go to a quick break for the top of the hour, a couple minutes late. When we come back, we're going to keep this thing going. And slated to join us in just a little while. Do or Die Chip Day right here on Back to Basics. Stay tuned.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
This is Merciless Ray Mercer, Olympic gold medalist and board member of Find the Dream, and you're locked into Beyond Ringside.
The To Be Determined show live Wednesday nights, 9 Central Standard Time. Join myself, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, the Grand Design, Clyde Braddock, and the Magic City Monroe, Fast Eddie Layne, as we take you to the edge of uncensored. Yes, we go uncensored, so make sure you have your earmuffs. Ask your parents, for those of you that are a little young, maybe under 18, but make sure if you have any heart conditions or any mental defects, please listen, because they may take effect right here live every Wednesday night, 9 Central Standard Time. Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com.
This is Super Cop Dick Justice, America's favorite wrestler, American-born hero. And right now, like a stiff bear hug, you are locked into Beyond Ringside.
Sunday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern here on BeyondRingside.com. Join us for the Midnight Black Mass. Myself, the Reverend Dan Wilson, brings you the dark gospel of professional wrestling, uncensored, unedited, uncut, and not for the faint of heart. You can find out more about us at youtube.com/pottyhumor or subscribe at Potty Humor on iTunes and Stitcher today.
This is Dale the Demon Torborg, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Howdy, friends. This is the Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Layne, with your invitation to join yours truly, along with Mark Mabo Bowman and the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, every Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, for Beyond Ringside Live. Wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com for all of upcoming show information, and of course, catch us on social media as well. Until then, we'll see you this Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, for Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
This is Danny Cage from the world famous Monster Factory, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Network break. Welcome back in. Back to Basics rolls on live. Once again, about 23 minutes away. Scheduled to be joined by a good friend of the family, Do or Die Chip Day, right here on Back to Basics. Fast Eddie Layne over here. Stan Grubb, what's up?
What's going on? We're stealing shine all over the place.
Oh, don't even get me started on that.
Come on. You had to know that at least one reference to that was going to happen with Chip Day coming.
Don't get me started, because I was having a great conversation this past Sunday with good friends, Larry Goodman with Georgia Wrestling News and Notes, as well as the Alabama ambassador, Mr. 256, Jacoby Boykins. We were all in the same area. And this is where I'm going to be a jerk.
Okay.
For as much as I enjoyed AWE this past Sunday, thank you so much. Here comes the straight shoot.
Okay.
Actually, let me find out what just happened with the board.
Sorry, that was my fault.
Oh, okay, it's yours. I thought it was mine.
This is what happens when we browse the web.
There you go.
My bad, everybody.
It's okay. I am a firm believer that AWE needs a bigger venue and space between the front row and the ring.
Can I interject here for a second?
Sure, go ahead.
From a truly outside perspective, I watched a lot of AWE that they have available on YouTube. Here's my biggest problem with AWE. The venue they have, I think, is great. I like the feel. I like the grittiness of it. I like the dim lights. I like it. But you're absolutely right. There is no reason at all that fans should be having their hands on the ropes during any part of competition or a promo. That really made me uncomfortable. And it just so happens that Corey was one of the guys responsible there. But there's no reason at all for a fan to have his hand on a microphone. Ever. I'm sorry. It just... Josh, I respect and love the hell out of you. I love your product. I love your wrestling there. But there's no reason for that. None. Zero. I like the fan friendliness. I think that's perfect for any grassroots kind of campaign. But you have to draw a line. You have to put some separation between the talent and the fans. It has to be there. It just has to. And it makes me very uncomfortable because it invites problems. Now, Corey has too much respect for the industry to jump the rail, so to speak. The problem is...
I thought it was because he had too much weight to jump the rail.
Well, I was trying to be nice.
Love you, Corey.
Okay. Happy belated birthday, by the way.
Yeah.
But in truth, what's to stop a drunkard from hopping into the ring and attempting to attack Adrian Amore while he's in the middle of his promo, which, by the way, was scathing, and I loved it. But what's to stop him from this? Nothing. Nothing is going to stop him, except for the wrestlers that beat the tar out of him when they get in the ring. Rightfully so, you don't touch the talent. Thank you, Wicked Nemesis. But the truth of the matter is it's unsafe. Not just for the talent, but for the fan. I don't understand that setup. Maybe he's trying to squeeze more seats in. That kind of makes sense, but you know what? If you're losing $20 to $30 a seat, and I believe that's what he's charging for ringside.
20.
Nope, nobody's sitting down anyway.
No, it's standing room, festival seating, festival standing. There's very few chairs around the venue.
Then put the railing around the ring, damn it. Stop screwing around. Someone's going to get hurt. That's just unsafe. And I think Josh has his finger on the pulse of wrestling. I think he has a very firm hold.
Look, I love his booking. I love the booking from this past show. There were a couple of things that I sat back and went, huh, because they were new faces for the most part. But I'm going to go. Let me go ahead and carry this all the way through. And if you want to count this as my side of the coin or an early last call, sure, fine, let's rock. And it wasn't just one person, it was more than one. And I understand it's a bar show. I understand it's 18 plus.
Right.
But there comes a point where certain people who were standing out there, and no, I'm not just going to mention one name, I can mention a whole ton of them, that try to make themselves a focal point. And I think that shows a lack of respect for the company and for the talent. Because it's one thing to spout off, but some of the things that I was hearing, I was not a fan of to begin with. When you're calling someone a sea-sucker, heel or face, not a fan. When you're calling in that person for the 9th, 10th time, really? Can you not come up with a more creative word?
Well, what's the point of calling him Roman Reigns, by the way?
Yeah, there you go.
Why do you care about what a WWE product's doing when you're not even close to a WWE show?
Well, hold on. Because I've seen different things going around, and there was a little bit of a revolt because it felt like that Adrian Armour was installed as the head of the AWE Heroes, the leader,
Mm-hmm.
and it's come down to there was a... Now, you have to remember, in my neck of the woods, there was a faction of fans that called themselves the heel section.
Right.
These are the ones who who had a deal worked out with one specific promoter to come in and set up a velvet rope and have their own VIP section. Because there were 12, 15 of them coming to a show. Okay, I got no problem with that. But the issue on those was the fact that they didn't try to steal the show from the in-ring talent. You got a lot of fans, not a lot, you got a handful of people down at the ring itself who are trying to put the light on them, and it doesn't do the product justice, and it pisses off other people that are paying their hard-earned money to hear what somebody has to say on a microphone cutting a promo. Like I said, I'm not holding anybody accountable other than the people themselves who are doing this. I understand the concept of there are fans of pro wrestling who would love nothing more than to find a way to be a part of the show. But by the same token, and yeah, I'm being a prick about this and I don't care. I'm not being judgmental. I'm being real about this. There's a way to say something in an adult manner in a blue manner without just getting outright MF and vulgar. How many times can you say F you to somebody? How many times can you call them a sea sucker? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's like, really? Can we come up with something a little bit better? And no, I'm not acting as a parent or a father would. I'm not acting as a guardian would. It offends me as a wrestling fan. I love the in-ring action. I love the promos they're cutting. Look, I don't care the fact that they go R-rated on the microphone when they're cutting promos. I don't. I'm all in favor of it. I get irked when, and yes, I'm a firm believer. Buy your ticket, come in, cheer your favorite, boo the ones you hate. But there's always a line of taste and decorum regardless of where you are and what you're doing. And I don't know if you're watching Impact, but Beer Money just defeated the Wolves and have picked up the Impact or the TNA Tag Team Championships.
Good for Beer Money. That's cool. I like the Wolves too. I'm a huge fan of them, but I like Beer Money too. I think that's a good move.
Logistically, I saw it coming because I thought it was the crowning achievement for them getting back together all the way across the board, and I hope there will be a rematch. I don't know how much longer the Wolves have on their contract. I mean, I'm one of those that saw it coming as soon as Beer Money and the Wolves locked up. I had a feeling that it was going to be a tag shift or a title change, and I'm okay with it. It's funny because the overall perspective, I've really been enjoying TNA wrestling. I've been enjoying Impact for the last few weeks. I've been watching it since the transition to Pop TV. Do I think the product's watered down? No. Do I think the product is as good as it was? Yes. Do I think it's a little bit better in some ways? Yes. And I'm really appreciative of the fact that they're doing their tribute to Kurt Angle and everything else. I just can't help but feel that something's up. I really can't.
Well, unfortunately, from a disgruntled fan perspective, the fix is in. I can tell you that. And I can tell you that it's unfortunate because with the guy that's done nothing but sacrifice his body for that company, mind, body, and soul, truthfully, there is something in the works. I'm not going to play spoiler here, but it is unfortunate because it takes away from the entire story. And when it plays off or plays out, and you will see it, it's one of those things that is good in one respect or another, but at the same time, all it really truly does is take away. And that's what you don't want to do, especially when you're trying to grab on to as many new viewers as possible. Your focus shouldn't be on taking away, it should be adding. I wasn't really a fan of the signing of Bobby Lashley when they brought him in, but somehow they made it work. I thought MVP signing was great, but when things started to go south for them, they couldn't keep their talent informed. MVP took that as a sign of, hey, my contract's up, I think I'm just going to cut my losses and go forward.
Right.
Can't say I blame him for that either.
Not in the least.
Because he wasn't necessarily losing by staying with TNA, but he wasn't winning either.
Right.
Not from a win-loss perspective, just from a marketing perspective and money. When you're in a company that is in such a state of flux that TNA is in, you really can't afford to let them take direction or give direction to you. You have to take the bull by the horns. And what we see with the Kurt Angle storyline is Kurt Angle saying, okay, do what you want. And that's just, it's unfortunate because it's not what should be happening with a guy like him. Not that he needs creative control, because I hate that phrase and I hate that ploy, but I think he should have exercised some degree of creative control in this situation, because it just didn't, it's not like it makes him look bad. Let me be fair. What they're doing with Kurt Angle is great as far as the, paying homage to him and doing the send-off. But all things being equal, we've seen this before with Kurt Angle. We've seen him have a plan before of he's going to go away and do this, that, or the other. So there's always that feeling, okay, is this yet another swerve? And I think one thing that TNA does not do well is swerves. Although the Rockstar Spud turn, even though it was telegraphed, really came off good.
Yes.
But I think TNA's problem has always been TNA. I think they've always been their own worst enemy. I think Dixie doesn't have a true feel for what it takes to run a wrestling company. She does have a good feel for business in general, making money, but that's not what wrestling necessarily is. Just making money isn't what wrestling's about. It's what you want, make no bones about that. But you want to do it the right way, and you want to do it so that it's long-lasting. That's one of the reasons, and it may piss off all of the people out there that think that Vince is the devil, but that's one of the reasons Vince is still in business, because it's not just about making money for him, it's about continuing to make money long-term.
Right.
What they've done with their tag division, pretty much from the start of TNA, is great. I love TNA's tag team roster. Always have. Sometimes it makes you scratch your head a little bit, but for the most part, their tag team division has always been solid. If I'm TNA, I'm keeping the Wolves as long as I possibly can, and I'm keeping beer money. But let's be real here. Bobby Roode is going to be coming up on the end of his contract soon. James Storm is on a short-term deal. I know for a fact there's no way in the world that beer money doesn't go to WWE. There's no way. There's too much money at stake, and James Storm knew, he's just too smart for this, he knew that he'd make more money with Bobby Roode than himself. Plus, James Storm is older. So, with that being said, he's not burned any bridges. What does he do? He comes back to TNA, does good business there. James Storm's a tremendous businessman in general, but a great hand in the ring and a very, very accomplished athlete. Bobby Roode, very much the same thing, but Bobby Roode is a lot younger. Storm probably sees the writing on the wall, does business in TNA, and then when it's time to walk away, and it will be soon, hey, Bobby, we got an opportunity here. We can make a lot of money, and we can close out my career in a big way. Would you mind helping me out? There's no way Bobby Roode says no to that. No way.
I was making a reference to AWE a little bit earlier, and I want to go ahead and sit back and say this. What was originally supposed to be a main event matchup between Sugar Dunkerton, Shug D, and All Ego Ethan Page.
I love Ethan Page. Huge fan.
Was interrupted by Aaron Epic, the Sultan of Douchebaggery, as he has been referred to as.
That's a great nickname.
I don't know who came up with it. I'm paraphrasing somebody on that one, but they just kept calling him douchebag, so I'm just going to go and sit back and say I haven't heard the word Sultan used in a little while, so I'll just say the Sultan of Douchebaggery, and hope Wick doesn't try to steal that one. But
I like that. You got a lot of one-liners tonight that need to be cemented, sir.
Yeah, I know. What did I use earlier? Hashtag Central Air and no heat. But
Rumper Stumper, I think, is a great one.
Actually, that's an old JYD-ism. That's an old junkyard dog. I'm not taking credit for it, but we can say it any damn when it's like I say that in tribute to JYD.
Well, we definitely can't use that for Naomi then.
There you go. Well, hey.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, she got the rumper, but her lack of talent's a stumper.
All right, it wins again. See, Eddie, this is the reason Eddie does this all the time. By the way,
yeah, I just have fun. That's all I can say. But I will sit back. I've got to sit back and say this: the match between Shug D, Ethan Page, and Aaron Epic, all into itself, was worth the price of admission. In my book, the tag team match between the Spring Street Suicide Squad and the Team IOU, oh my God, that was hellacious. Worth the price of admission. There were some great matches on the card this past Sunday, and when you get a chance to check them out, folks, look it up. Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment, I do believe they put some of their stuff up on YouTube. And they're also doing DVDs, but I'm going to sit back and say, regardless of what you see on YouTube, get the DVD. Because I also understand, and this one was given to me a little bit earlier, and I think it is available publicly. There is a DVD available for AWE called The Best of Southern Strong Style Mixtape Volume 1. Get this. I was given a copy Sunday to take a look at as a screener. Get this. I don't care if it's $5, $10, $20. Get this. I don't make any money off of this. Get this. I'm not getting paid to talk about it. I'm saying get it. You will definitely enjoy it. Speaking of enjoyment, let me go ahead and do this before we go to the bottom of the hour. I want to remind everybody, or actually let you know since I haven't said it the first time. There is a possible hashtag road trip all the way across the board in the very near future. Let me go ahead and pull this up because there's two things I want to look for, and I'm going to find one of them. Found it. Okay, cool. There will be a special live event this coming Saturday night March 12, 2016, in Dalton, Georgia, at the Dalton Rec Center. 904 Civic Drive in Dalton. Global Championship Wrestling and DCW come together at the Dalton Rec Center. GCW Heavyweight Champion, Saba. Saba, I can't get his last name. Damn it, and I just bit my tongue.
Samba Simba?
There you no, not even close. The Bosnia
Shabba
War.
Ranks?
Yeah, really. Edit point 17. Yeah, edit my ass. This is live, kids. The GCW Heavyweight Champion Spiral takes on the Latin sensation Antonio Garza. Veteran of WWE, ECW, and TNA Wrestling, Johnny Swinger takes on Mad Dog Dan Sawyer. The Rockstar Tommy Gage will be there. GCW Middleweight Champion O'Hagan will be there. Ladies Champion Veronica Fairchild will be taking on the Priscilla Kelly. 6 matches already on the slate.
Oh my goodness! I love the concept of Veronica Fairchild and Priscilla Kelly.
They faced each
Kelly,
other.
by the way.
They faced each other in Pell City, Alabama, and was a good match.
Can I be special referee?
Wish I could be. We'll talk later.
Cat fight! Cat fight!
That's Joey Styles.
Go ahead. Sorry.
But let me also go ahead and say this. 6 matches have already been signed at this point. The cameras will be rolling this Saturday night in Dalton for the combined show of DCW and Global Championship Wrestling. Poster is up and floating around. You've got some great stars who are going to be on the card this coming Saturday night, March 12. I do believe bell time is going to be, it is 7 p.m. Eastern time at the Dalton Rec Center. Once again, that's 904 Civic Drive in Dalton, Georgia. Also, in one more, I'm trying to remember the exact 5, 12, 19. Saturday, March 19th, Peach State Wrestling Alliance makes the return to the VFW Fairgrounds in Carrollton, Georgia. The quest to be the best tournament continues. More first-round matchups in the East bracket, so to speak, and I hope everybody who has been keeping track had a good bracket, had an honorable, is being honest with the way they kept their brackets. I actually, and okay, I know this is going to sound cheap when I say it, but I went 4 for 4. And that's legit. I'm being completely and totally transparent and honorable when I say that. I had no insight. I did not know anything going into this. But I went 4 for 4 in the first part of the bracket. From there, you've got 4 you've got 4 matchups in the Sweet 16 opening round. Tommy Too Much taking on Kevin Blue. Bill the Butcher taking on Chris Spectra. Tyson Dean taking on P-Dog Mike Posey. And the French sensation Romeo takes on Kyle Matthews. PWA Women's Championship match. Calm Like a Bomb Pandora takes on, I apologize, women's match. There is no championship involved. The championship has not been decided yet, so I'm going to leave that alone. Calm Like a Bomb Pandora takes on the mercenary America Strong. Hey, you got my number, you know. You can always call a brother and say hi. That's all. Just shoot me some corn chips or something like that. Oh, God, I shouldn't have said that phrase. How about some cotton candy? Screw the chips. Also, Sal Renaro will be taking on Jacob Ashworth. And once again, that is Saturday, March 19th, 1625 Bankhead Highway in Carrollton, Georgia. Tickets for adults, $10. Ages 7 through 15, $6. Children ages 6 and under will be free. Ticket information, call 770-328-1162, or you can get in touch by email at pwafanbase@yahoo.com. So, got great events coming up all the way across the board. You heard me make a reference to New South this coming Friday night in Fayetteville, Tennessee. Global Championship Wrestling this Saturday night in Dalton, Georgia. And on the 19th, and we've got some more dates we're going to be talking about over the next little while. But we are going to dip to the bottom of the hour break when Back to Basics returns. Slated to be joined by pro wrestling star Do or Die Chip Day. B2B is BRB in just a minute.
What's up, everybody? This is Jimmy Rave, and you're listening to the only Jimmy Rave approved radio show. You're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Hello again, everybody, and this is Stan Grubb for Corner to Corner Radio for the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Join us every Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with myself, Rob Hefner, and Brian Taylor as we bring you our thoughts and feelings on the world of professional wrestling and everything in between. As my good friend Rob would say, from corner to corner and pillar to post, we bring it to you every week. We look forward to seeing you. Thanks again for listening to the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Bill Behrens, and you're watching, you're listening, you're experiencing Beyond Ringside, and you are a better person for it. Trust me.
The Mad Dog's House of Pain, the only nationally licensed pro wrestling school in the state of Alabama. Mad Dog Dan Sawyer, trained by the Junkyard Dog, will be your trainer. You want to be a professional wrestling superstar? Learn from GCW's own Mad Dog's House of Pain. With over 22 years experience, learn from the Mad Dog's House of Pain. 205-567-6482. Start your career today. Call 205-567-6482.
2010, after 2 years of constant bullying, 11-year-old Ty Smalley took his own life. In the past 7 years, more than 55,000 children have taken their own lives due to bullying. That's 22 youth suicides every day. Stand for the Silent is a grassroots organization that educates people about the harsh reality of bullying and the devastation it causes, and they need your help. Visit standforthesilent.org to learn how you can get involved and help us to save lives.
I stand for the silent.
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 I'm Roddy Piper, and we stand for the silent.
This is Harley Race, 8 times NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, first ever King of the Ring, and you're locked into Beyond Ringside.
I'm Bobby Ches, a 3-time world champion, Showtime expert analyst for more than 10 years. You're locked in to the On Ringside.
On this 8th day of March 2016, welcome back into Beyond Ringside, Back to Basics. The 10 count and more. I'm still got more things running through my brain, and trust me, there's a lot of room for things to bounce around in there. Fast Eddie Layne, live from Studio 1, welcoming back in from Corner to Corner headquarters, Stan Grubb. What's up, brother?
What's going on?
And like to welcome in good friend of the family, professional wrestling star, Do or Die Chip Day. Chipster, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm good. Kind of tired, but I'm alive, so it's a good day.
Yeah, coming out of the match this past Sunday in Atlanta with AWE, I've got to sit back and say I'm surprised things were not. I'm really kind of curious to see how everybody survived the way they did, Chip.
Oh, man, it's a wonder how everybody walks away. Maybe slightly limping, but we're all alive after these AWE shows, man. It's a wonder in itself that we all escape that ring healthy, but I'm not complaining that we do.
Now, I also have to throw this one out there for those who did not make it, and if you live in the Fulton, DeKalb, Cobb, Henry County, Douglas County areas in the central Georgia area and did not make this event, idiot. If you call yourself a wrestling fan and you live in that 5-county area, you should have been at the famous pub on North Druid Hills Road this past Sunday for AWE. I will sit back and I'll say the same thing on this show that I said on Twitter that I've said in private. I had a great time and it was a great outing. I'm gonna throw a little bit of a curveball. Do you ever wonder what the Kool-Aid drinkers at Ringside are really wanting to say, or do you think that they're actually saying what's on their mind during a show, Chip?
You know, I asked them to tell me how they really feel all the time. So I don't think they're ever pulling any punches. I think, and I don't. Man, everybody accuses our crowd of being drunk scumbags. Well, I just see it as them getting really honest. That's how I see it. Ever since I was 21, I've never called it getting drunk. I call it getting honest. So.
Well, I'm going to go and throw this one out there. I pride myself on being a part-time Kool-Aid drinker because I don't get a chance to come to all the shows. I do my best to make the ones that I'm able to. And once again, I'm really apologetic for the fact that we weren't able to do a live broadcast immediately following Almost Famous. Josh Wheeler and I had a great conversation, and we are trying to put things together, not only leading up to Homegrown, but also at Homegrown. So at Homegrown, we're going to have hopefully have a lot of surprises for people up and down the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. So everybody listening in, be ready for it because it's going to get fun. I am what I call a part-time Kool-Aid drinker. I don't get quite as rowdy, and believe me, I had an opportunity to imbibe and partake of a couple of adult libations this past Sunday. Almost did. But, I mean, I look at it like this, dude. It's rowdy, it's raucous, it's insane, it's nuts. You never know who's going to go in which direction. If anybody thinks that they can genuinely figure out what's going to happen in an AWE live event, you're smoking better stuff than I can find, and I have direct contact with Tommy Chong and Willie Nelson. Need I say more? But I have to ask, and this is one that's been burning my brain, and I have to ask this one, and I'm going to ask a member of the hierarchy or the Kraken, however you want to, whichever team you're officially a part of this minute, and I know it's both. How did you manage to get Princess Kimberly to join the hierarchy?
I mean, I think it was as simple as once Murder broke it down to her that, you know, she might have beat us once, but she was ultimately running around with a dude that loses every single chance that he gets, it seems, in Adrian Armour. And then, like, seriously, like, who wants to hang out with Kiera Hogan and Owen Knight? Like, dude's got a loud mouth. Nobody likes him. And runs around acting like he's, I don't know. What's a good reference? What's a good reference? We'll say Cuba Gooding Jr. in Boys in the Hood.
Well, good one.
He gets mad and just starts swinging. Ricky! You know what I mean? Like, nobody wants to hang out with that fool. I think it was as easy as that. Once Murder broke that down to her, it was that simple.
Well, I felt that what Adrian said after the match was over with.
All I heard was a bunch of cussing out of his mouth.
Well, I felt it was raw. I felt it was passionate. And I felt that there was a ton of imparted anger coming to the surface. Because when I heard he almost got as mad as I did when somebody actually made a Roman Reigns reference to him. And it's like, no. Adrian has much more God-given talent.
Well, if I could interject,
come on in,
Chip. You guys have been running roughshod all over AWE for a good while. And one of the things I noticed about the promo that Adrian cut was it was real. But getting back into the question more about how fans are so close to the ring, from a professional standpoint, does that make you uncomfortable? Having them, I mean, hands on the ropes, they're in your face from start to finish. I mean, you're a consummate professional, I realize that, but this isn't just your ordinary, everyday, average ringside event. This is a mob scene.
Yeah, honestly, it doesn't make me worried. Obviously, if there's like somebody that's super drunk, like I'm gonna keep my eye on them. But like, I think it's really cool. Like it, and this is me just not really talking. Well, no, screw it. I'm a member of the hierarchy anyway. But like, as a professional wrestler, first and foremost, I think it's awesome because you get to feel that energy from the crowd as close as they are. Like it's almost tangible. You know what I mean? And like as professional wrestlers, we feed off the energy of the crowd, right? And it's not some cliche thing. Like at these shows, the more amped up the crowd is, I think the more the boys get amped up. So I think it's awesome. So yeah, that's my opinion though.
Now, shifting just a little bit, because you and a person that we're all familiar with here on the network were engaged in a, let's just say, a little syllabic skirmish at one point, and, I'm just being cute about it, where at one point, where you told that individual to stop stealing wrestlers' shine, thank you, and Smart Rage, Corey Champion. I'm not going to. And lo and behold.
All you had to do was say shine, and we already know who it is.
Yeah, pretty much. But okay, look, Corey's a friend of all of ours, and I'm not going to hide. We wouldn't be saying anything about that. But I'm not. Okay, I will count Corey in this equation. But do you ever genuinely look at the situation with the hardcore Kool-Aid drinkers that they are inadvertently, and some maybe intentionally, stealing a little bit of shine away from the match?
Yeah. Sometimes I could see where some of our fans can kind of go into business for themselves, and then in that sense, I remember I was wrestling Cedric Alexander. This is actually on YouTube, and if anybody wants to go watch it, it was me and him from Show of the Year, and some guy in the crowd said something to me. And I actually I'm coming back into the ring, and he said something to me, and I remember telling him, because I thought he was trying to, steal a little bit of thunder from the match. I remember telling him very, very loudly and in no uncertain terms to suck my head and watch the match.
Don't.
Whoa.
I cuss a lot. Like that was one thing I came to learn about myself in 2015. I cuss a lot, and I don't apologize for it.
129.15, already got it. You know me in post-production, Chip. No, but seriously, and this is something that I really found. Okay, I thank you for what you said off air as the particular relevance of the Hierarchy versus the Heroes match leading off Almost Famous after the pre-show kickover. Because, do you want to say it on air, or do you want me to go ahead and say it?
Oh, no, you can go ahead and say it.
You basically put in no uncertain terms that it was to send a message to the locker room to make a statement. And this is something that I followed up with. When you have 6 of the primary stars of the company willing to, and some homegrown, some brought in, that were willing to go in that leadoff, it should send a message to the entire locker room. 1, if we can, you can. Number 2, we're going to go out there, kick everybody's ass, and you're going to have to live up to our standard tonight, so you better be ready for it. Did I say anything wrong in that?
No, that's exactly right.
And I still have to, I have to sit back and say, this is just me as a fan, not as a veteran, not as a broadcaster. I wish that match could have gone longer.
How long did we end up going? It was something like 13 minutes?
I didn't think it was, dude, right? I blinked and it was over. I didn't think it was that long.
Really?
I really didn't.
Just because there was a lot of movement.
That's considerable. That's conceivable. And I do see down the road what in my book should be a very good match if Kimber and Kira go at it all over again.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is going to be one that's going to have a lot of people talking, because that would also, and this is something a lot, folks, here's the kick to this. You hear me make the reference to Princess Kimberly. Yes, I'm also referring to the young lady who is the Chikara Grand Champion, which I was hoping she'd bring the belt, but I had a feeling she wouldn't. But, and, I had
things are a hassle at airports, man.
Oh, God, yes. I've heard those stories, and I know those stories so well.
Everybody wants to, hold it and, take pictures with them, from what I understand, because we all know Chip Day has never had to take a championship belt through an airport.
Yeah, we were outside and we were having a discussion with somebody who shall remain nameless at this point, and he was talking about the factor of keeping his belt in his carry-on, and everybody was like, "So, what's this? Are you a champion? Are you big?" And it's like he was just going. It was just had this look on his face. I felt so bad for him. Hey, can I take a picture with the belt? It's like, God. Now, I know that with the advent of the YouTube product and getting videos up and online, and also with the DVD in place now, because I was given the advanced copy, the screener of Southern Strong Style Mixtape Volume 1 from AWE. Loved it. And I'm telling people that I'm the same way now that I told them earlier in Seg 1, if you get a chance to, buy the damn thing. Also, let me give this one too before Chip does. I'm going to steal it out from under him.
I'm stealing my shine. Here we go.
I'm going to steal the moment. Wrestling fans in and around the central Georgia area, all around the southeast, now available. AWE t-shirts, the Kool-Aid Squad. I'm surprised.
Tblaster.com.
Tblaster.com. When you get a chance to, check these shirts out. They've got links to it all over social media. So many different people are posting it. I'm actually placing my order tomorrow when I know that the payment has cleared to the credit card, but I'm actually buying one of my own. I'm not going to ask for one. It's like, I'll buy the damn thing and support the company. Just like I have done from square one. I definitely stand behind AWE and their product. I am a fan. I appreciate it. Now, I know that with situations in play. So, folks, get the damn t-shirt. You'll like it. Check it out. Tblaster.com. You forget I'm shameless, dude. I make Garth look like old news and the word shameless. Thank you, Billy Joel. I just totally effed up that reference, but what the hell?
Garth Brooks reference. No. I got it. It's fine.
Okay. Now, as you're starting to head, I know that there is a new venue coming online, the Campbellton Road venue. I want to ask you this one on and off the record. I know we're 9 minutes before the top of the hour, and I know we said we'd go 30, and I'm going to give you definitely an opportunity to get shameless plugs and everything else in. But I want to ask this one. How does your mindset change when you go from traditional venues into venues such as the famous pub, the Quad, and some of the other bar shows that AWE, or bar-oriented shows that AWE is? How does your mindset change, or does it?
I think it's a matter of, I still want to go out there and kill it every single time, but I don't know, man. Honestly, I feel like working in front of big crowds and big buildings is cool. Like, everybody wants that, you know what I mean? Like, everybody loves performing in front of lots of people in a big venue, but, like, honestly, man, in these small, intimate venues, I think sometimes it's more of a, I'm trying to phrase it right. I think it's a much more conducive environment for professional wrestling because, once again, you can actually feel that energy of the crowd in these smaller, intimate venues, if that makes any sense.
Yes, it does. Makes perfect sense.
So I think that puts you more in a mindset of being able to understand what those people are enjoying about the match, what they're not enjoying about the match, what you can do to change that. And I honestly, I enjoyed wrestling in front of smaller, rowdier, intimate crowds than I do in front of bigger crowds that, they couldn't care less about the match because all they want to see is like a head drop or somebody to do a Canadian Destroyer off the top rope or some, crazy shit that people have never seen before. Cussed again. Sorry about that.
Got it. That's fine. In other words,
that's my mindset toward it anyway.
Can I kind of like steal one of your lines from earlier and ask you if this is the perfect way to say it? It's much more brutally honest.
Oh yeah.
Stan Grubb, come on board with Do or Die Chip Day.
I'm listening and I'm just kind of taking in the conversation between you two, and I'm familiar with Chip's work on YouTube, so I'm grateful for the YouTube product. Grateful to see what you do in the ring. I think the question I always have when I see a group or a stable or a faction, whatever you want to call it, just a group of friends that are dominant, how do you rate your success when you go forward? What is your next goal? I mean, you have your foothold really on the neck of AWE. Can the hierarchy go anywhere else? Do they go to other companies and put their foot down there? Is it just simply an AWE thing, or is it everywhere?
Oh, no. I definitely think that the collective group mentality at this point is, today Georgia, tomorrow the world. And I think I don't want to speak for all of us because, I don't want to speak for anybody else, but I definitely think that that's definitely the collective group mentality at this point.
Now, I know that. Is it this weekend? Chip?
What week? What is this weekend?
Mucha Lucha?
Oh, yeah.
And,
it's on Sunday.
And you're knee deep in that one, right?
I am. Me and Jimmy Rave are competing for who will be presented that gorgeous brand new Georgia Wrestling Crown Championship belt.
Dude, that belt is gorgeous.
Yeah, that looks awesome. I like that one.
It is really pretty. But yeah, man, it's one of these things where we've gone into it with the understanding of, okay, this match it's going to happen. There's really nothing we can do about it, but whoever comes out on top is going to be the champ. And we're of this collective mindset of we're going to take over the world. So people just they keep trying to throw seeds of doubt and cause dissension in the group, but I don't see that happening. But it's like in a perfect world, and I can't expect, or I can't, I can't force what anybody else is going to do or how somebody's going to react.
Well, everybody wants to be the top dog. I mean, it's no disrespect intended. I mean, it stays in the family. If it's in the hierarchy, then I guess that's the ultimate goal. But, I can't say I blame either one of you, and I'm not trying to necessarily stir the pot, but I can't blame either one of you for wanting to be the champ.
Now, I've got to throw this one in there because
hold on, Eddie. Wait. Chip, I mean, isn't it an honest thing to want to just be champion? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that between two brothers, right?
I don't think so. It's one of those competitive rivalries, I think.
Well, I mean, as long as you guys are still in the same team, right? I mean, you're saying that people have tried to stir this up with you guys, but what's wrong with friendly competition?
Well, I mean, if you've ever seen a me and Jimmy Rave match, you can tell, and then you already know that things will get very physical and very, very hard hitting. So I don't know, man. Is it super friendly when somebody punches you in the face?
Of course not. Of course not. But I mean, we're talking but you're two grown men. You're two businessmen, two guys that want to be successful in the industry that you love. I mean, let's not paint it into a picture that it's not. Of course, you guys are going to go balls out. There's no reason for you not to. But at the end of the day, I would think with the unity that you guys have, that maybe you don't shake hands right after because that's a long reach after you've gotten smacked in the mouth by your own words. At the same point, you've got to be able to look each other in the eye and say, okay, now we go forward. I mean, is there some tension there that you're not telling us about?
I'm maybe suppressing it, but probably so because it's it's a belt that I've been chasing for over a year now.
Is there a possibility that the hierarchy gets involved and makes sure that Jimmy is champ? Is that what your concern is?
What was that now? I'm sorry.
Do you have a concern that your fellow brethren in the hierarchy would perhaps get involved and make sure that Jimmy wins? I mean, you said it yourself. You've been chasing this title for a long time, and you want this title. and I know that Jimmy does too. I know that you guys are both consummate professionals, you're brothers in arms, but at the same time, I mean, I have to say that I can tell that there's a resignation in your voice, a hesitation that you're not really touching on. I mean, come on, it's just friends here. It's not like there's anybody else listening. You can tell us. You can tell us, Chip. We're here.
To be honest, to be real with everybody right now, yeah, you know, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I don't want to because I've seen how that ends up, especially with the hierarchy. But you know, man, I want that belt.
Okay, I'm going to ask the question.
I've wanted that belt for months. And
I'm going to stir it for a second. Straight answer.
I mean, we've kept Jimmy the champ this far, right? So who's to say that that's not going to keep happening and make sure that Jimmy has the belt?
Has Chip Day outgrown the hierarchy?
Or more to the point, would it be under new management? Who's to say Chip Day can't be the leader of the hierarchy? Why can't you be the flag bearer? I think that's a fair question. Look, it's no secret. Both Corey and myself are huge Jimmy Rave fans. We like and respect him, but we're huge fans of you as well, as is Eddie, as is the majority of the Beyond Ringside crew here. There's no reason that you couldn't be the flag bearer.
I think that as well. I don't know, man. I think for a minute I've been thinking more about this, and I gotta, especially on Sunday, kind of gotta get back in the net and look out for me mindset. So,
well, a guy like yourself has to watch your back. I understand. Like you also has a plan, I would assume. Ace in the hole.
I'm not going to show my hand on podcast.
Well,
it's not a podcast; it's live radio.
Podcast, buddy. Come on! Don't steal our show. Come on, man! Don't do that.
Man, what kind of poker player would I be if I showed you my hand? 5 days before I'm supposed to do this match? Come on now. What kind of competitor would I be if I did that?
You know what? I respect that. You're doing the right thing here. You're choosing your words very carefully. I think that the match between you and Jimmy Rave will be phenomenal either way. But at the same time, if I had to put my allegiance somewhere, I'd honestly say that Chip Day can not just be champion, but can lead the hierarchy.
Now, the match is going to be this Sunday, right?
Yep.
And that is going
Sunday in North Cross, Georgia at, I don't even know what the venue is, but the show starts at 4, I believe.
And
I'll put shameless plugs up all week on all kinds of social media.
Now, I know you're going to be, once again, that's this coming Sunday for Mucha Lucha. I know on Sunday, March 20th, you're going to be making the return to AWE for Fish and Grits at Campbellton Road Community Center. And then, of course, all roads will be leading toward AWE Homegrown. And I do believe the date on that is going to be April 23rd.
April 17th.
April 17th, I'm sorry. I was off by a whole damn week. See, that's what happens when I try to do this crap. I can do mine, but I can't do everybody else's. Anything in addition to that coming up in the near future?
You have to go and ask, and now I got to pull out my calendar.
While you're pulling out the calendar, let me go ahead and throw.
So,
we got it. Okay.
I'm wrestling Billy Buck for the first time ever, which is ridiculous because I've known Billy Buck for like 10 years now. That's the first time we're ever going to touch an independent product, so I think it's kind of cool. You already put it out there. Be at Mucha Lucha Atlanta on Sunday. Next Saturday, I'm up at Empire for their last show ever in the building that they're in. And then the 20th, I've got Fish and Grits. The 26th, I'm at UIW in Temple. And, man, I'm going up to Indiana in April on the 8th. And then April 9th, I've got something fun for everybody, but I don't know if I can put it out there just yet. So I'm gonna keep my lips tight about that one. But people keep their eyes on my social media. I'll probably be able to put that out there in a couple weeks.
If you feel
it's a busy time.
It's also a good time to be Chip Day, right?
Sometimes it's a good time to be me.
I'm going to throw you this one before I let
And
you
even
run.
better time if you had the title on your shoulder.
Oh, Stan, you're going to keep pushing, dude.
I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it. Saying it. I think the guy has every right to stake his claim. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I'll agree wholeheartedly. But let me go and throw this one at you before we start heading in that direction, Chip. Did you think the Walls were going to survive the DJ Hyde William Huckabee match?
No, I was listening and watching that match very closely, and I could feel every single time those guys hit each other. I could hear every time those guys hit each other. I was afraid for the bar and all the coolers behind it, because I was convinced somebody was going to put somebody's head through a sliding glass door on one of those refrigerators. But no, I thought those guys were going to tear that place down. I think that's the hardest I've ever seen William Huckabee get hit in the 5 years that I've known that guy.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the hardest I've ever seen that guy get hit. And he stood up, and I'm pretty sure, at one point he told DJ that his mama hit harder than him.
He did.
So now I'm afraid to meet Mrs. Huckabee. But yeah, man, that match was crazy.
I'm sure Mrs. Huckabee is a saint.
Probably so.
She taught her
Probably
son.
hangs out with Dorothy Namchief as well.
But I will sit back and say this: all the matches this past Sunday. Now I missed the majority of the ladies' match, so all I managed to catch was the final seconds when Ashton Starr interjected himself and picked up the pin over Penelope, and it's just like I'm sitting back going, does Ashton Starr have any shame whatsoever, dude?
None. He has no shame, and that's what makes him so awesome. Like Sugar Dunkerton said, that man is effing majestic.
I will agree. And like I said, I really wish I could have gotten back in time.
I abbreviated myself just then so you didn't have to go back and post and fix that one.
I appreciate that too. And remember, it's live internet. Now, when it's on the podcast, then it'll be, but now it's still live internet radio. ProWrestlingRadio.net, BeyondRingside.com. No, but seriously, folks, if you missed it this past Sunday, you get a chance to make up for it a little bit this weekend. Mucha Lucha in Atlanta on the 20th, Fish and Grits. Then, of course, making their way into April for for Homegrown. You got some great chances to catch Do or Die Chip Day all around the Southeast and then some, dude. I want to say, from me to you, you and I have known each other on and off for a while. I want to wish you the absolute best and continued success. You work your ass off before and after the shows. I've had great conversations with you. I'm pulling back the curtain for a hot second, and this is just being real. You got a great head for the business, and you know where you've come from. You know where you're going. You know where you are. You don't BS people about it. You are one of the hardest working people in this industry, and I want to wish you all the best for continued success and continued elevation in your career.
I really appreciate that, Eddie. That means a lot, and I thank you.
How can everybody track you down on the social media side of life?
Okay, so Instagram is ChipDay88. My Facebook is ChipDay88. My Twitter is @ _ ChipDay88. We had a branding meeting with the AWE higher ups, and they decided that we should. Actually, they came down with the word that everybody needs to brand other social media the same, so it's easier to find everybody.
Right.
Because if you remember, my old Twitter handle was @do_or_die88, right?
Right.
And Josh Wheeler doesn't like underscores, and I don't care. So when I chose my new Twitter handle, I decided to go with ChipDay88 again, but I had to throw an underscore in there to kind of piss off the upper office, but whatever.
And you said go ahead.
But yeah, that's me.
You said Empire, and I have to ask this because it really just hit me a minute ago. I know that at one point in time you were a part of the White Rose.
Mm-hmm.
Where are the ties to the White Rose now?
We're still together. We've added 2 more members in the unexpected departure of Corey Hollis. But we're still together. I'd like to think that we're as strong as we ever were, but that's going to be tested, and it's going to be found out in a week.
Now, I do have to.
We've got a 6-man tag, and it's me in there with the Double Dragons, and this is the first time I've ever teamed with these guys, and Vega's in his own match, so it's a mystery how this is all going to work out to me, but we'll see.
Yeah, I've got to sit back and say, after what happened between the White Rose and the good Reverend Dan Wilson, the host of the Midnight Black Mass, did you? I mean, I know. I've got to sit back and say, I have all the respect in the world for the Dragons, for Ryan Vega, and for you. But I'm going to sit back and say this: by assaulting Dan Wilson like that, be very, very careful where you step, because this is a man. That's just being a friend on that one.
Everybody knows this right now because I haven't been to the live microphone or anything to say it. Nobody's asked me my opinion of it. We added 2 dudes that I didn't sign off on, right? So I wasn't there. I wasn't involved in that. So I can't say I necessarily agree with what we did, but do I think it might have been a little bit necessary? You got to justify, means justify the end, and justifies the means. There we go. And the end is on March 19th at 22 Austin Avenue in Rossville, Georgia. So I do believe that in the end, the end will justify the means.
All I know is I've known Dan Wilson for a long time as well. He has been one who has guided the careers and managed and inspired some very notorious figures in the world of pro wrestling. I would just pass along the word to the brethren in the White Rose. Watch your step, watch your back, because Wilson, you don't know how deep the rabbit hole runs, man. That's all. That I'm just friendly advice. Words from a friend, words from a brother. I'll put it like that. Chip, thank you for hanging out tonight. And, dude, the door's always open. Love to have you come back on sometime.
Oh, man, I appreciate you guys having me. And I might just do that because I like talking wrestling.
Be careful. We will hold you to this, and we'll wait till you get out of the gym before we bring you in.
Oh, yeah, no, okay, that's cool.
We'll hold that door open.
I'm down.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Do or Die Chip Day, right here on Beyond Ringside Back to Basics. Hang tight. The live broadcast continues in just a moment. Hey, Larry Goodman, tell everybody hello.
Sunday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern here on BeyondRingside.com. Join us for the Midnight Black Mass. Myself, the Reverend Dan Wilson, brings you the dark gospel of professional wrestling, uncensored, unedited, uncut, and not for the faint of heart. You can find out more about us at youtube.com/pottyhumor or subscribe at Potty Humor on iTunes and Stitcher today.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. 4Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, 4Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
What's up, everybody? This is the Master of Malice, Mark James, and you are locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Howdy, friends. This is the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Layne, with your invitation to join yours truly, along with Mark Mabo Bowman and the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, every Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, for Beyond Ringside Live. Wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com for all of upcoming show information, and of course, catch us on social media as well. Until then, we'll see you this Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, for Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Hello, wrestling fans. This is Action Mike Jackson, 9 times U.S. Junior Champion, first ever Alabama champion, and I want to tell you what I'm tuned into, Beyond Ringside.
And here we go. Home run round on this Tuesday night, 16 minutes after the top of the hour. On the live side, on this 8th day of March 2016. Fast Eddie Layne in Studio 1 from the Corner to Corner headquarters. Stan Grubb, what's up, brother?
You know what? I think it's a brand new day. I like this.
Got a couple of things I want to run down as far as the calendar itself goes. Tomorrow, Wednesday, March 9th, Ohio Valley Wrestling returns to the OVW Arena, 4400 Shepherdsville Road in Louisville, Kentucky. Also tomorrow, our good friends at Rockstar Pro Wrestling. Rockstar Pro will be at the Rockstar Arena, 1106 East 3rd Street in Dayton, Ohio. Definitely check out rockstarprowrestling.com. Thursday, March 10th, Extreme Midget Wrestling at Shooters. Perfect place for it. I'm not kidding.
What?
Extreme Midget Wrestling, EMW, will be at 310 East 49th Street in Texarkana, Arkansas. 9 p.m. start time this Thursday, March 10th. American Combat Wrestling, ACW, at the Tropical Island Breeze at the Gulf View Square Mall, 9409 U.S. Highway 19 in Newport Richey, Florida. 8 p.m. start time. This Thursday, Prime Wrestling, Minneapolis, Minnesota, at the Uptown VFW Post number 246, located at 2916 Lindale Avenue South in Minneapolis, 8 p.m. bell time. Edinburgh, in the UK, Discovery Wrestling at the Jam House Edinburgh, 5 Queen Street, EH2 1JE in Edinburgh. Start time, 6:15 p.m. Once again, that's Thursday, March 10th for our good friends over in Edinburgh in the UK. Also, Westside Extreme Wrestling will be in Oberhausen, Germany, this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, March 11 through March 13. I do not speak German very well, so I'm not even going to attempt this. Check out facebook.com/Westside XTREME Wrestling. It's that easy to find. Also, this coming Friday, Pro South Wrestling makes the return, 627 Southern Avenue. Want to say congratulations to our friends at Twin States Wrestling for another great outing this past Sunday at the Pro South Arena. Same venue, 2 totally different companies. They had some great matches this past Sunday, according to what I was told. I have not had a chance to see anything as far as pictures or video yet, but definitely next time they make their way around, check out Twin States Wrestling. Good friend Gene Jackson and company up that way. They got some great talent they're bringing in from all around the Southeast. You heard the reference to New South Pro Wrestling this coming weekend up in Fayetteville, Tennessee. They've also, this Friday actually, and they've got another live event slated for this weekend. I do not have that info directly in front of me. Real quick, want to go ahead and run this one, run a couple more by you. This Friday, Freelance Wrestling at the Bottom Lounge, 1375 West Lake Street in Chicago, Illinois, 9 p.m. bell time. Wild Championship Wrestling Outlaws at the WCWO Arena, 1151 South Kentucky Avenue in Indianapolis, Indiana. Also, just now finding out about this company, Manville, New Jersey. Game Changer Wrestling, Manville VFW 600 Washington Avenue. I'll space that out. At the Manville VFW 600 Washington Avenue in Manville, New Jersey, 7 p.m. Bell time. Check out GameChangerWrestling.com. God, Sammy. Meanwhile, a friend of mine just sent me a message on something. I'll expound off air. I don't do politics on air. AIWF First Class Wrestling will be at the Miami Valley Sports Center, 6972 South Dixie Highway in Franklin, Ohio, 7 p.m. bell time. Also, one more real quick, Smash Wrestling at the Student Bar at Brock University, 500 Glenridge Avenue, St. Catharines, Ontario, 8 p.m. local time. That is this Friday, March 11th. Good friends of ours, Phil Stamper and Nate Stein, put together one hell of a calendar. And if you get a chance to check from the desk of Nate Stein over on Facebook, I want to say originally had slated to bring in DJ Hyde from Combat Zone Wrestling. My fault. I thought that I'd sent the text. Unfortunately, it got saved in drafts, and I did not realize that until just a little bit before showtime. So I am going to work with DJ to get him back in very soon, hopefully, possibly next Tuesday night. One more. Forgot about this one. Power Pro Wrestling at the Greater Milford Boys and Girls Club, 101 Delaware Veterans Boulevard in Milford, Delaware, 6 p.m. local time. Got a lot of great events going on. WrestleMerica, Barnesville, Georgia, this coming Saturday. Like I said, GCW in Dalton, Georgia, this coming Saturday. Ultimate Championship Wrestling in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Future Stars of Wrestling this Saturday in Las Vegas, Nevada. Sin Bodie, what's up, buddy? Get in touch. We need to talk. Because I think that is where he is. Shit, he's all over the damn place. That's the easy way to say it. And Stan, I know that you've been keeping an eye on Maryland Championship Wrestling. Is there a chance that the Triad can make their way to an upcoming MCW event in Joplin the next time it hits?
We are working on trying to get that scheduled. Between the three of us, the scheduling of that is more related to work schedules than anything else. But yes, we do want to get there. The goal would be to set up shop and try to get as many hands in as possible. But who knows? Might be a 1-on-2, might be three of us. Who knows?
I definitely hope y'all can pull that off sometime. Let's take one more quick look down the public card for Roadblock this Saturday on the network. Dean Ambrose, Triple H, WWE World Heavyweight Championship on the line. I know you're going to be covering this a lot more in depth on Thursday on Corner to Corner. Or is this the week that y'all are going to Sunday? I'm lost.
Well, we got a bit of both going on. We've got this week on Corner to Corner, we have Tom Filsinger coming in from Filsinger Games. You may know him from the creation of Champions of the Galaxy.
Right.
30 years this game has been around. Still producing new product. I'm very impressed with the game itself. Big fans of the game itself as well. The three of us are going to be demoing the game, doing a live match, interviewing Tom this week. As at the same time that I'm aware of, scheduling as it seems right now, we will be making the transition to Sundays this weekend as well. How that's going to play out, I'm not exactly sure, but we're working on it. We've been working on schedules with Eddie for a while now, just trying to get everything hammered out. But yeah, we're going to have a lot to talk about with Roadblock. And then, of course, on Sunday, the aftermath of Roadblock. Rob really brought up the point last Thursday. We're going to talk about it more, of course, this week. But, you know, this could really be a good opportunity, a shakeup on the WrestleMania card, which, in my opinion, is needed. At the same time, you brought it up earlier, Eddie, that they are running low on time as they get closer and closer to the actual WrestleMania access and everything there. You're not really in a position where you can change it up too much, but with everything being as topsy-turvy as it has been with injuries, geez, I can't talk, with injuries and everything, it has the possibility to really shock us. So yeah, I think with the World Championship, the one thing that stands out to me is that Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Triple H, is not necessarily focused the right way. I think he's still looking to Roman Reigns. From a storyline standpoint, that's not going to work in his favor. Something tells me we could see a shakeup.
And I've also got to throw this one out there. The NXT Tag Team Championship is going to be on the line as Enzo and Cass get their opportunity against Dash and Dawson. I think that match will absolutely steal the show. I'm going to go in a little bit more detail about that coming up this Saturday on the Shooters Gallery. But let me go ahead and get your early thoughts on that one now before you have a chance to really because I know you're going to go in more depth on Thursday too, or possibly, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Enzo and Big Cass, this is a great opportunity for them. Tag team wrestling in NXT couldn't be any better than it is right now. Though there was a lot of chatter up until about the Royal Rumble that Enzo and Big Cass were going to be making their main roster debut soon. They have been working dark matches in some of the local house events. I have a feeling that this could be their opportunity to win the title and get their one reign and make their jump.
And let me go ahead and throw this one out there. Of course, it was announced last night and confirmed last night that the newest inductee to the WWE Hall of Fame is in fact going to be the Big Boss Man. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and say this. If they want to go ahead and say it's Big Boss Man going in, that's fine. But traditional wrestling fans who've known the career of Ray Traylor are celebrating the fact that Big Boss Man, Ray Traylor, Big Bubba Rogers, is finally going to, in my book, take his rightful place inside the WWE Hall of Fame. I'm going to definitely be going on about that a little bit more. Stan, your thoughts, your early thoughts.
Big Bubba Rogers, the Big Boss Man, the Guardian Angel, the Boss, you name it. There's a lot there. I'm excited to see him go in. I think he's deserving of the opportunity, deserving of the induction. It's unfortunate that he passed away in the light that he did. I miss him. He was a great star. My cousin actually used to go jogging with him, as oddly as that sounds. But nice guy, and it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. I'm sure his family is pumped.
Yeah, I will say this to the family and inner circle of friends of Mr. Traylor. I mean, I had a chance to meet him and work with him on a number of occasions. Always a class act, always a great man. And in my book, like I said, finally taking his rightful place in a Hall of Fame, in the WWE Hall of Fame. This is where I will sit back and, I will never second guess the E. That's bull. We all know it. I would have actually, probably about 5 years ago at least, if not a little bit sooner than that, because of the things that he did for the company. As far as I think that a character that has had the impact and it's like he even made Hulk Hogan look good.
I mean, he was one of those guys that was able to work with everybody. He was a big guy. He was agile. He was fast. I mean, he could work great with Kurt Hennig. He could work great with Hulk Hogan. He could work with Jake Roberts. He could work with Ted DiBiase. It didn't matter. He was good.
Yeah, he genuinely was. So, like I said, I'm thankful to the powers that be, and I got to watch that phrase too. I'm saying powers that be, not the PTB.
Mm-hmm. Is that still a thing?
Don't ask.
Okay.
Maybe in T-shirts. I don't know. Hashtag Lost Cause, COSE. But and I know he's listening. So what's up, Cause? Shooters Gallery, 10 a.m. Central, Saturday morning. You know the Skype line. That's all I'm gonna say. Once you get finished painting and everything, and we're still going to try to figure out what the hell's going on for Mania. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and throw this one out there for everybody. As we all know, WrestleMania under a month away. We will be shifting the kick time for Beyond Ringside Live on that day, on Sunday, April 3rd. Instead of the traditional 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 Central, we will be bumping up because Mania does start earlier on that Sunday. Stars and personalities from the entire Beyond Ringside family of shows, including Global Championship Wrestling's GCW Radio, have been invited to be a part as special guest pickers during the prediction round for Mania. So this is probably going to be huge. We're going to probably have, because I've already invited, as well as I've invited Phil Stamper to come on board, one of my co-hosts here on Tuesdays. For those who caught the interview the other day, Babs will be coming on board. She is committed, one of our celebrity special guest pickers for the Mania episode. So and like I said, there are more personalities and stars that are going to be coming on board. So we are going to be going live 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 Central, 2 Pacific time. 3 Mountain. Hi, Ted. And yes, you're invited, Ted.
That was a nice private whisper.
I get razzed by Guinness every once in a while. It's like, how come you never mentioned the Mountain Time? It's like, you know what time it is there?
Who all lives in Mountain Time?
I have no damn idea.
Hi, Ted.
Miss you, brother. That's me. That's legit. That's a shoot. But yes, and so we will be going live 4 p.m. Central Time on Mania Sunday for a full 2-hour broadcast. Going to have I know we're going to be doing probably a dual cast from C&E Studios, from the Beyond Ringside Studios. Who's going to be where, I don't know yet. So Studio 1 will be active. C&E Studios should be back on board in time for Mania. And I know that you're probably going to have the C2C family up at your place, or we're going to find a way to patch y'all in.
We will definitely be together. As far as where we'll patch in from, it might actually be from Culpeper, because I'm sure I'll probably end up making the trip over with laptop in hand, so to speak. So it'll be interesting. Should be a lot of fun. We always do it up big for WrestleMania, so we will most likely patch our way in to at least to do the pick'em round. Whether it's all together in one microphone or calling in from the road, who knows? I'm not really sure. I need to get with the guys on that, because we've got so many things in the works right now. It's getting kind of tough to get it all scheduled. I mean, plus, we got Superman vs. Batman coming up.
There you go. Yeah, it's on the horizon.
Priorities, brother. Priorities.
Go ahead and throw this one out real quick. Wanderlei Silva returns to Japan. Ryzen FF signs legendary Pride champion, and they also have 7 fighters that they've signed, including Silva, already announced for their April 17th live event in Nagoya, Japan. Press release from yesterday, March 7th. Ryzen FF, the combat sports promotion led by former Pride FC or Pride Fight Club or Pride Fighting Championship, however you want to put it, head Nobuyuki. Oh God, I can pronounce this. Sakakibara. Thank you. Announced. There you go. It's Japanese, not German. Announced a press conference the signing of all-time mixed martial arts great Wanderlei the Axe Murderer Silva to a multi-year promotional contract, as well as the first 2 bouts, one of which will feature Silva for its second live event that will take place at the 10,000-seat capacity Nippon Gaeshi Hall in Nagoya, Japan, Sunday, April 17th. Priced from 10,000 yen, ticket for Top Presents Ryzen Fighting Federation 1 are on sale and can be purchased online at ticketbiz.com. They will be having a pay-per-view event come out of this, but I will sit back and say, for them to sign Silva, I really appreciate it. Whether it's to in-ring, which it is, to a promotional deal, which it is, I think that adds a whole lot to their company. And I am looking forward to seeing what happens with Ryzen Fighting Federation. So keep your eyes open on that, mixed martial arts fans, and also for everybody that has been in panic mode because of the fact that you had the Women's Bantamweight Championship change hands again this past Saturday night at UFC 196 as Miesha Tate defeated Holly Holm by rear naked choke by choke. It's a choke by RNC. Got the submission win, and Miesha Tate finally realizes her dream. Now, lo and behold, the question is going to be, everybody's putting it on the table. Everybody's like, okay, what's going to happen? Is Ronda going to go right after Miesha? Is she going to go get the rematch with Holly? And best person gets the rematch with Miesha. I don't care. If it's up to me, I'm going to go ahead and sit back and say, Holly Holm rematch with Ronda Rousey to build into the fight against Miesha Tate for the title. You have 2 champions ago versus the previous champion to find out who's going to take on this champion. I think that would break box office records. I think the rematch between Rousey and Holm should take place. Winner gets the champ. That's my personal opinion. I think that's smart booking. If you go straight to Rousey versus Tate, or straight to Holm versus Tate, I think that you're putting too much of a spacer in there. Now, to everybody who sits back and goes, well, she lost it on her first defense. So, look, Miesha Tate came in with a good game plan. And remember, these rounds went back and forth. I had Holm winning round 1, Tate winning round 2, Holm winning round 3, the final in round, and the payoff for the submission win. This fight genuinely could have gone either way because they were 2 great competitors. Am I panicking for the UFC? No. Am I saying, oh my God, they got problems. They lost Rousey, and now they got the women's title changing hand again, and Conor McGregor got his butt kicked. My hat is off to Nate Diaz. Now, for those who don't know, Nate Diaz took that fight on less than 2 weeks' notice. He did not have anywhere near a full training camp for this fight. I am impressed. I did not think that Nate Diaz was going to win that fight. Would I have put $20 on the factor of him being the underdog? Yes, just for giggles. I thought Conor McGregor was strong enough to take that fight. Not just physically strong, but strong enough as a fighter. I legitimately felt that Diaz was going to suffer another loss. Now, that having been said, I was wrong. I was shocked and amazed and left in awe, especially in the final part of the fight. And for McGregor to take that loss and to be as humble as he was in defeat. He didn't make excuses. He didn't go flying off the handle. He was a very calm, cool, collected, composed Conor McGregor. He was class. I think now that McGregor will go ahead and drop back down to his regular weight, I feel sorry for his next opponent. For anybody who wants to sell Conor McGregor short on this loss, don't. First off, it was a catch-weight fight for the most part because of what happened between Dos Anjos getting hurt and Diaz taking the fight on short notice. I give credit to Diaz for taking the fight, and he took the fight straight to Conor McGregor. McGregor had a great outing. In the end, got caught. So I will sit back and say, Nate Diaz showed a lot of people this past Saturday night live on pay-per-view that you can never, ever sell him short. I think he's now tied for 5th as far as finishes in the UFC, which is an impressive stat. When you have so many fighters who just want to do enough to get it to the judges thinking that they can get a decision win or a split decision. He found a way to win. He didn't let it go to the judges. I commend him for that. He could have gone ahead and laid back to the end and thinking the fact that he could have won the fight on the points. He didn't. He got the win. And I praise him for that. I recognize that and I appreciate that. Fighters, you want to prove you're the best? Get the win. Don't let it go to the judges. Plain and simple. But I'm not going to be one of the naysayers and the doom and gloomers. It's like, oh man, UFC's in trouble. No, they're not. Not in the damn least. Watch and see how things fall into place over the next few months as they are on the road to UFC 100. And I guarantee you, if people stay healthy, UFC 200 is going to be a great outing for the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Mark my words, mark your calendars, make your plans, keep your eyes open on what's happening with UFC. But by the same token, you heard me make a reference to the Ryzen fight, to Ryzen FF just a minute ago. That's going to be another promotion to watch. World Series of Fighting Mixed Martial Arts over on NBC Sports Network. Do not blink when it comes to that promotion. Ray Safo and company have been putting together some great outings. Their last one kicked ass. I was really happy with it. And of course, you've got Bellator that continues to improve. Invicta that continues to make strides. It's a good time to be an MMA fan. Just like for a lot of us, it's a damn good time to be a pro wrestling fan. Just like being a boxing fan. With Premier Boxing Championships right now on television, showcasing new up-and-coming fighters as well as veterans who are finally getting their limelight, their light, and their due, hell yes. So please, don't blink for a second, because you're going to be trying to catch up. And you know, it's a hell of a lot easier to keep up than it is to catch back up. Stan Grubb, last call, my friend.
Wow. You said a mouthful, sir. When we look at the week that is right now, as we head into Roadblock, I stick with the safe bet in the mainstream there, looking at what they're going to do heading into Roadblock and coming out of Roadblock into WrestleMania. The questions that still remain to be answered, the obvious one, of course, is does Dean Ambrose take the title? I think that is more probable than we want to give credit to. I think our cynicism, or the cynic in us, would say that there's no way. And that makes sense. There's a lot of safety in that bet. No problem admitting that. But I do think that they're looking to shake it up. I think Shane McMahon versus The Undertaker, there's a lot of questions to be answered there. Does Shane truly step in the cage? Are we seeing everything that there is to be unveiled? Certainly not. I think there's a lot of room there. As we head into just more deeper water, how will the card lay out? How will we see the New Day if they end up transitioning from heel to face, which I think we can safely say they're almost all the way there to the face turn. It's a good, exciting time for wrestling in general, but it's an exciting time for WWE because they're making some moves. We're seeing NXT superstars make the move to the main roster. We're seeing the Divas division unfold a little bit better now, where we're finally stepping a little further away from the Bellas and a little closer to Charlotte, Sasha, and Becky, which, in my opinion, is the right direction to go. All of these things can only mean one thing, that the road to WrestleMania is always an exciting time of year, but especially this year, with now knowing that John Cena will most likely not be competing at WrestleMania. It's going to be an interesting way to change it up and see who shows up, see who's able to do a cameo or a guest spot. And I'm glad to be a fan at this time of year because it means that not just WWE, but all companies around them, and even not around them, are stepping up their game. Like we heard from Chip Day tonight, like we heard from Jimmy Rave in the past, we've heard from Murder One in the past. If we're just focusing on AWE, we know that they're definitely gearing up and making sure that they're making their staking their claim, making their name kind of thing. So it's an exciting time. I'm actually looking forward to seeing what else comes of the Beyond Ringside network, like we talked about earlier, with acquisitions. That's a big, big word and a big, big thought process on the horizon. We've got a lot of different cool ideas that are just kind of coming together and mixing. And wow, I got to tell you, Eddie, it's an exciting time. I'm looking forward to it.
There's a lot of fun on the way, and believe me, it's going to get even better. There are, and like I said, as we're sitting here right now at 10:43 p.m. Central Time on March 8th, there are new people that are finding out about us every week. And for everybody that is listening in for the first time to Back to Basics, whether it be through ProWrestlingRadio.net, whether it be through BeyondRingside.com, the app, Beyond Ringside Radio app available for Amazon, Android, and BlackBerry, whether it be through Shoutcast, whether it be through TuneIn Radio, through Winamp, your favorite pop-up device as far as on your desktop or laptop application. Whether you're, of course, through Ustream, tried and true, stuck with us and greatly appreciated. From there, on the replay side of life for Beyond Ringside branded products, through iTunes, through Podomatic, through Stitcher, Spreaker, archive.org, through the station itself for the replays, and of course, through iHeartRadio. Thank you, God, for everybody who's still just now finding out about it. Yeah, we've been a great kept secret for a long time, and guess what? The secret's getting out little by little. Stan, if you would, go and throw shameless plugs.
Well, alrighty then. Of course, you can catch me on social media. Stan from Krypton, Corner to Corner SG, Corner to Corner RH. Of course, my comrades, my brothers in arms, Rob Hefner, at Rob Hefner. And then, of course, Brian, which is at STRCP21. I will tell you this. If you continue to tweet to Brian, he will eventually respond to you. We'll give him no choice. That's what we got to do.
There you go.
Looking forward to coming on the air again Thursday with our interview with Tom Filsinger and our live match from Champions of the Galaxy. Really should be a lot of fun. We'll be talking, of course, more about Roadblock and some of our thoughts going into not just WrestleMania, but also the Hall of Fame. And on the horizon, Rob has talked about it, I've talked about it. Folks, I promise you this, we will be holding a Hall of Fame Roundtable special right here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Corner to Corner will be serving as the hosts of it, but I can guarantee it won't just be us at the table. We've got a lot of good conversation to come on for that. We've got a few other things in the works right now. We're talking about maybe lending a hand down in North Carolina for a brother in arms. So we got a lot going on. We're excited about seeing some things come about. That's really all. I mean, you can find us on Spreaker if you're ever looking for the downloads. You can find us on Facebook at the Corner to Corner Show. I guess that's kind of it. Take it away, Eddie.
Let's run this down at light speed real quick. Live programming will return tomorrow night, March 9th. That is Wednesday, with the To Be Determined show, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. Hiccup. Sorry. Thursday, of course, you just heard Corner to Corner making the return, and also will be making the jump to Sundays this week as well. Saturday, March 12th, the Shooters Gallery. Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central, 9 Mountain, 8 Pacific. There, I said all four of them. And, of course, it could be a trifecta this coming Sunday, March 13th. Beyond Ringside Live returning 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 Central, 4:30 Mountain, 3:30 Pacific time. I'm going to have an update very soon on the Midnight Black Mass starring Reverend Dan Wilson. We've been going back and forth as he has been working on his recovery ever since the heinous attack perpetrated by the White Rose up at Empire Wrestling, which they've got a live event right around the corner. Here's your rundown real quick. The Wicked Nemesis from the To Be Determined show will be, and Shane Knowles from the Shooters Gallery, as well as yours truly, will be appearing with Peach State Wrestling Alliance on Saturday, March the 19th. Mad Dog Dan Sawyer from GCW Radio will be appearing at the GCW live event in Dalton, Georgia this Saturday night. Also, plans are in the works, long-term plans are in the works for a number of us from the Beyond Ringside family of shows to make appearances with Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment on at their upcoming live event in April, which I do believe once again is slated for the 17th. Homegrown from their new Campbellton Road location. Real quick, also, Back to Basics co-host Phil Stamper will be making appearances with Grand Slam Wrestling and Maryland Championship Wrestling in the very near future. Catch up with him as we're going to get him back on board next Tuesday night, right here on Back to Basics. Like I said, you heard me run it down a few minutes ago, and I want to go ahead and throw this one out there to everybody who has been catching the YouTube version. Thank you so much. From the bottom of my heart, and all of us do thank you for it. I don't get a chance to get all the shows up there. Don't forget, you can find us Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside Live, at Beyond Ringside on Twitter, MySpace.com/Beyond Ringside. Or if you want to, just go in and run the full gamut. Whatever social network /Beyond Ringside. Same thing with YouTube, same thing with Daily Motion, LinkedIn, and Google Plus as well. For me personally, back in action this Friday night, Buffalo Wild Wings in Alabaster, Alabama. Start time is 9 o'clock p.m. You can find me personally on MySpace, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Google Plus, YouTube, and Snapchat. At least those are the ones that I'll admit to. I'm still trying to figure out Snapchat. Leave me the hell alone. I don't get it.
Snapchat's a little odd.
Oh,
I wouldn't
shoot.
worry about it.
And I also forgot to mention the fact that Beyond Ringside will be coming to Periscope, and yours truly is already on there, so I got to add that one in there as well. Holy crud. I'll figure all this stuff out real soon, I promise. Yeah, right. Say what?
I said Periscope.
Have you tried it yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay. It's actually kind of cool. It's linked into Twitter, and it gives you a chance to do video that's longer than Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know, Instagram's only 15 seconds on their videos.
Right.
Yeah, linked. Periscope's longer.
I'll have to check that out.
Matter of fact, hello to former coworker. Well, I can't say former coworker. A very cool person with whom I've worked with before. Would love to have her here on BR, and she's actually down at Bike Week ODB. Had some great interactions with her over on her Periscope account recently. Always a pleasure to talk to her. So, for me personally, like I said, the home site is fasteddielayne.com, but I'm all over the place on that one, and I'm working on trying to get some stuff caught up too. Folks, thank you for hanging out tonight to Do or Die Chip Day. I appreciate you more than you know. DJ Hyde, I owe you one. Hopefully next Tuesday night will be good and we'll get everything in place. If not, we'll set another date. All is well. No harm, no foul. And I apologize for the miscue again. To everybody running live events that we had a chance to mention this weekend, I hope y'all have great shows, great outings, and I'm looking forward to hearing some great things. New South Pro Wrestling, of course, GCW, DCW in Dalton, all the different outings. Empire coming up in the near future. I'm going to get back with them very soon. So, and I'm going to stop babbling now. For Corner to Corner's own Stan Grubb.
Remember, folks, only you can prevent forest fires.
And only I can prevent myself from babbling like an idiot for 20 minutes, but I never just seem to be able to do that.
It's totally fine, sir. Totally fine.
There you go. I am the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Layne, living up to the hype on that one. Until next time, have a great night. Have a great week. Catch us tomorrow, Wednesday night, for the To Be Determined show with the Wicked Nemesis, Angie Tessarian, and possibly even Clyde Braddock right here on Beyond Ringside Radio. Adios, das vidania, hasta luego, auf Wiedersehen, ciao, sayonara, adieu, arrivederci, farewell, abacina, au revoir. Until we meet again, my friends, aloha means bye-bye. Join us right here next time as we all go Beyond Ringside. Bye for now.